Welcome to the Frames Per Second podcast. I am Spike Lou. This is season 4 review of The Bear, hit FX show that is streaming all episodes on Hulu now. Here with me, I have Rod.
Yo, what up, bro?
Mike.
Yo.
And Ken.
Hola.
Fellas, The Bear, season 4. I'll start with the overall thoughts. Toss it over to you, Mike. What'd you think about this season?
I thought it was better than the last season. It wasn't amazing, but one question will determine my overall thought.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the final season?
That's a great question because I don't know either.
For some reason, the whole time I was watching, I thought it was.
I did too.
And when I looked online, it was a whole bunch of people being like, well, I'm not sure. We thought it was, but now we're not sure it was. So I don't know if this is the final season. If this is the final season, I get why they may have ended it like this, but I'm not happy they ended it like this.
I needed more if this was the final,
Yes.
but I don't know if it was. Rod, what about you?
I can see why people would feel that, because I had the question too, because it kind of felt that way.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the final season. I do think they need to end it probably next season. Needs to be the final one, but I don't think this was the final season. I enjoyed it, man. I love this show. I love the things that they do with this show. It's still like one of my favorite shows to watch on television. And like one of the things I was saying, like, you know, in certain moments is that's how you black TV right there. Like
We'll get there. I thought the same thing, but we'll get
listen,
there.
that's how you
Listen,
black
Rod,
TV.
yes.
But yeah, so but no, yeah, overall I liked it. I enjoyed it. Like I don't know, man. It just still has that same feeling that I've always felt from The Bear. Like, I'm so glad y'all told me to watch this show, because I don't watch many shows, and I'm just glad again that y'all and the fans made me watch this show. Y'all were right. This is right up my alley.
Ken.
So to answer the question, I'm like you guys. I don't know, but here on ScreenRant.com is what they wrote about a 5th season. Is that, of course, it's not renewed. No one knows, but if it does, they will probably not start production for a while. I don't know what all that means. I don't know if some of the actors got other shit that they're working on or whatever. It also says that Variety wrote that there are no scripts written for season 5.
That's crazy.
Maybe they fucking with us.
So
I don't think so.
I don't know, because it is a very odd ending to a show without a definitive answer to a 5th season.
Yeah, that's real ambiguous as far as the way to end it. Like, it don't, as much investment as we've had with Carm and the rest of the staff, as far as people that really love this show, to leave it where they left it, I don't think works. It's just not justifiable. It's not justifiable to this series. Overall, though, I did enjoy this season as well. I thought it was really good. I was mad that we didn't get to spend time with like Tina as much as we did in season 3, and a few of the other characters. That was one of the things that kind of took me out of it. And it wasn't a lot of time with Carm either. I don't think that they spent a lot of time with Carm as far as a character for this season. But again, I like being in this world. I enjoyed it. I'm always here for it if they do bring it back. That first episode is called Groundhogs. This is a flashback. It has Carmen, talking about opening a restaurant with Mikey. They revealed on how they came up with the name The Bear. Then they go back to present day times and they look at this review. Review's not that great. That causes computer and uncle to come tell them, you guys got 2 months to turn it around. Ken, had they played on this too far? Like, oh man, you got to turn it around? Because they did this last season too, and then we started season 4, off with it.
Yeah, but they raised the stakes and they doubled down on, pretty much kind of the theme of everything is like every fucking second counts. And they created a level of tension and anxiety that I did not want. Because when I saw him, like, and it's real, bro. Like, it's some, like, that's some real ass shit that they're talking about. Is, look, we're losing fucking money. If we don't get to this point, by this point, we're done.
What are we doing here?
There are no more points, like, to be had. So, I felt all of that shit. And I think the thing that when he said, I was like, they ain't gonna make it. Like this group.
Yep.
I don't know how they gonna pull this shit off, you know, and unless they do like some real TV shit, and they kind of, sort of did some TV shit, but I'm like, these motherfuckers ain't gonna make it, but they're close. It's like you can see the potential in everything. Like, man, they got all the potential in the world, but it's like this thing is knocking them out of it. This thing is knocking them out of it. They're subject to the thoughts and opinions of other people, right? They can't control that. If they come on an off night, then it's a bad review.
Yep.
If they come on a good night, maybe a good review. But you just never know what night they're coming. So you got to run at peak optimal performance at all fucking times.
Yeah.
And you're human. It's hard to do that because as we see with everything with the bear, fucking real life shit go to work with them, bro.
Yes.
So, but you got to leave that shit at the door. When they say fucking doors, what's going on at the house don't exist. But again, they're human. So, man, yeah. But I was like, nah, these motherfuckers ain't gonna make it. They in trouble. I didn't need that anxiety, bro.
Rod, what did you think when they were given the parachute? They got too much. Did you think they were going to make it?
You can't tell with this fucking show, man. You can't tell. My heart said yes, and they was gonna figure it out. But like I said, you just never know. What I did like about this whole concept is like the uncle, who's the investor, and he's just being real. He's like, it's I know I'm your uncle, but at the end of the day, I'm still a businessman as well. So I really like that dynamic that they've formed with him and Computer, because he's family too. It's like the shit ain't personal. The shit ain't work. It's just not working. Like, I'm gonna have to shut this down. So I really like that component that they put in this movie, because I'm sure that happens a lot in real life. You know what I'm saying? With family that could front money for a restaurant. Like, look, it ain't personal, man. Y'all got to shut this shit down.
It ain't working.
So I like that. I like that aspect.
I fuck with Computer, man.
I love this. I'm straightforward with numbers. This is what we talking about. I don't got anything to do with any of that other stuff. Right. Mike, what'd you think about this?
I mean, I for the most part, I agree with y'all. I don't know if I have anything specific to add, but yeah, I agree with y'all.
Okay. All right. A great quote out of the episode, I think, was Sid was talking to Carmen. He said, "I'm trying to be better," and she said, "Try being less miserable first." I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
What you guys think when the non-negotiables were brought in? Like, we're supposed to be cutting money, but we able to hire this whole staff from this high-end restaurant and bring in other people. That was kind of confusing to me. What you think, Mike?
Yeah, that part threw me off because I didn't know where they came from. And I wasn't sure if there was something that I missed.
They came from last season from that restaurant Ever that was closing.
I don't remember.
Yeah, those were... So the non-negotiable for him, cousin, was going to be, I have to bring these people in order for us to succeed.
So Richie said that.
Richie said that.
Oh, I don't remember those people.
Yeah, all of those people was from like the episode Forks, where he was learning how to wash the forks. That was the girl
with the woman that was retiring.
Yeah, she taught him how to expedite. She taught Richie how to expedite. The girl did it. They brought in. Then the Asian guy was the guy that taught him that everything counts. And then the other Asian guy was the one that he taught him something else too.
I didn't realize those were the same people. Okay, that fits a little bit more because I thought Richie just went and found these motherfuckers.
No.
But when they walked in, the show made it seem like ta-da, they're back, and I was like, who the fuck are these people?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
they're very prominent last season. But you
got
said you didn't really like it last season. I'm sorry.
No,
you didn't say
liked
you
it.
didn't like it. You said you liked this one better.
Yeah, I just think this one was a little bit better.
Yeah.
Just because we'll get to it, just because there was shit with Sydney. I was like, no, this shit is amazing.
Okay. Anything? Anything going on? What'd you think about him bringing them in?
Oh, I thought it was dope. Like I said, I liked last season too. And so when I saw them, I'm like, oh shit, he brought them back, because that's basically who changed his life.
Right, exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's who made him who he is today. So I thought that was really dope.
Ken, were you questioning it? I know from you were. I know you were from a business standpoint. Like, how you bringing these high salary people in?
Absolutely. Because I'm bro. Who's over the purse?
What do you mean the purse?
Because she kept.
What's her face? Sugar.
Is it Sugar?
His sister.
Because everyone's like, bro, why are you? We don't hire any more people, and then you see people. Why are you hiring any people? And then the whole show, like episode after episode after episode, I'm like, how the fuck they paying these people, bro? I'm like, bro, y'all don't have it. So y'all just had a whole meeting, and maybe look, I understand. Like, in order to go where we need to go, we need this thing in here, and hopefully, the idea to kind of look ahead in the future is that these are the things that will help us accomplish our goals. So the sometimes overly used cliche when it comes to business, you got to invest, you got to spend money to make money. Is the thing that people use out, but there is a lot that goes with that, and not just a blanket statement. That and in this particular instance, it probably could work because that was something that they're bringing that they were lacking, and that is a certain level of discipline and somebody to hold them to a standard. We gotta hit this fucking number, and we're gonna hold y'all every single nah. 4 minutes, that ain't it. And then people work to be better.
Yep.
We saw that with a couple of people on the show. As we progress, we'll get to it. But that's what they were there for. And it was an outside voice to kind of keep them, in line. And that was it. But yeah, but at the end of the day, when you go to the business, y'all spending a lot of money. Will this fucking pay off at the end of the day?
Agreed. The same thing. I wonder will this pay off at the end of the day, and how we're going to show it payoff on scene. That was episode 1, Groundhogs. 2 is titled, I don't know how to say, Soubisc, Subvoice.
You good. You got it.
All right. So in this episode, this is a couple weeks after the ultimatum. They're struggling with a shortage of ingredients due to budget cuts and the staff dwindling down, which we just addressed. Carm and Sid begin simplifying components of the menu. Sid reads an article about Shapiro's new restaurant. Tina urges Cam to go see his nephew, which he hadn't seen, which is insane. And Carm calls Natalie to apologize about not seeing the nephew. And this is what a seed is planted for something that will come up later that we'll talk about. But she tells him it's okay if he's losing his passion for cooking, which was a great conversation. Yep. What did you think about that, Ken?
Well, it was another real ass statement. Because I felt it and I was like, man, I hope she's not planting a seed in Carmen's head, right? And I don't know if she did or she didn't. I think that's a discussion we can have, I guess, later on. But in terms of the nephew thing, bro, I understood that shit. I could totally be Carm where I'm so caught up and consumed in everything that's going on here, the winning, the making sure that we're succeeding in terms of what they're doing with that restaurant. He don't have time for that. And when you're just trying to get to, remember, this Groundhog Day, when you're trying to get to the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, you look up and it's been months, and your fucking nephew
you don't even realize
grown, bro. It's like, and sometimes you need people outside to come in and be like, hey, by the way, you ever did this thing, this human thing, this connection that you may need to pull yourself out of this, to just go do something as simple as that. So when she said, I was like, I could easily see myself doing some shit like that. There are a lot of times where I identify with Carm. It's fucking crazy, bro.
I was about to say, I relate to Carm in so many ways. It's just like being so wrapped up in a thing, and then somebody mentions something, you're like, what are you talking about? Like, it hasn't even, not out of spite or malice or anything like that. It's just, I'm so engulfed in what I'm trying to do that I just, that never even crossed my mind. And then once it does, you're like, oh, wow, you're right. One thing they did play around with in this episode, Mike, was Sid and Marcus's romance again.
They don't have a romance.
Yeah, I didn't get
But
that.
what y'all get from
I got
that?
a romance between Marcus and that dude. I meant to ask y'all, did I miss something?
That's what I was interested in
Said
too.
worry. Yeah, Frody.
You did say word. Yeah, you did. I don't know. You caught yourself, Spike. It was
I
a
meant
what?
to say wondering. I meant to say wondering.
No, I didn't get a romance between them.
Even when they were in the freezer, she was fixing things. Y'all never picked that up?
No.
I thought they've been flirting with that for the last 2 seasons.
I feel like they only approached the romance thing one time,
yeah.
and then it
backed away
ended
from
when
it?
they got in a fight, and they never went back to it.
I remember the fight.
That shit got shut down.
It did.
And they ain't been back since.
It was so bad she drove him to men.
Nah, I don't think
The
that's
roommate was
case.
acting like that.
The roommate was 100% acting like they were in some sort of relationship.
I didn't know
And I
where
think that they were implying that because the way Marcus was acting towards him. It was weird.
Nah, so here's what I got from it. I got that, obviously, of course, the roommate is gay, but I thought that he was just, and we saw it later, that he just had an attraction to Will Portner's character.
No, it wasn't, because remember, he was upset about the fact that
working
Will
together.
Poulter's character was so good looking. He was like, of course he's good looking.
And tall, he can talk right.
No.
I thought he said that because he liked them.
Yes, that's what I thought.
He kept trying. Well, okay, I was interpreting it like he kept trying to work his way into their conversation, and it looked like he was at first like threatened by Will Poulter's character, because when he was talking to, I forget who he was talking to after that, and he was like, "Of course he would be good looking."
Yeah,
He was talking to Sid.
Yeah.
So why would he care if he was good looking?
Because he
he
liked
likes-
it for
he was
himself.
jealous.
He was.
No,
I think he was
I didn't
jealous.
get jealousy.
I definitely got.
I,
jealous.
you and I on
wow.
the same
Yeah,
page.
that's
I thought he was
definitely
just
picked up
attracted
jealousy.
to him.
That's some Laura Yanny shit right there.
I picked up jealousy because
Yeah.
he was like, because I think he came in hot.
Yes,
Like, he was like, bro, what's wrong with you?
exactly.
And then it went from there.
Yeah,
And he was
'cause he liked
picked
him.
up
No,
jealousy.
he
Made
was
him nervous.
upset. He was upset. Like during that scene when he came in, like Spike
crazy.
said, came in hot. He looked like he was pissed off,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Why are you acting weird?"
Because
But he was acting weird the whole. I'm telling you, if you go back and watch, anytime that dude and they're like together, it seems like there's something there.
Because he likes him.
No, okay, then you're.
No, I
you're-
think the dude-
No. Rod's right. Rod's right. See, this is what happens. Rod's right.
I
Yeah.
think so. The dude, when you say the dude, I just want to make sure we're talking about the same person.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe
talking
when-
about Marcus. Rod wasn't paying attention. I tricked him.
The roommate.
The roommate and Marcus.
Yeah, he's
Like,
not
he
talking
likes-
about Will.
He likes Marcus. Is
So
what you're
we're on the
saying?
same page.
No, I'm asking. That's a question. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
oh, yeah.
You're saying that he likes
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes. And I almost think that Marcus might like him back.
See, I didn't get that part of it. I don't
I'm
think,
confused
I don't think
about
that
what's
Marcus
happening.
is
I know he
aware.
likes the other chef.
Yes.
Yeah, they said that he said that he was cute, but it seemed like he was almost upset that he was cute. I thought there was like some weird relationship between Marcus and the roommate. And then when he saw the other chef, he was like, damn it.
I like him
Of
more.
course, no. No, like, God.
He likes
now,
him.
Now I'm threatened
yeah.
by this guy because now Marcus is around this really good looking chef.
Oh yeah, so he's still on the opposite ends.
Yeah. That's what I got.
I didn't pick up that Marcus understood or knew that the roommate was attracted to him. I feel like Marcus is a Carm type where he's so dedicated to like the kitchen, and we see he won best new chef. I think that the reason he was like, well, why are you acting weird? He never even picked up.
Okay,
on
that makes
dude
sense.
likes him at all.
Yeah.
And
That makes
then,
sense.
of course, dude-
But you're still with me
Yeah.
that the roommate has some kind of weird thing towards Marcus.
He definitely likes Marcus.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think he definitely likes
at
that.
all. I didn't get that.
Me neither.
That's
that never
crazy.
hit
I
my.
can't believe
Now I'm
y'all.
looking
I can't
at
believe y'all
the way
missed
y'all
that.
hang out, and I'm like, well, maybe I'm just maybe me and my homies don't act the same way.
Yeah, I can believe y'all missed it. I think that was obvious.
We missed it?
Yeah.
That was not
no.
all.
I thought it was obvious. I'm gonna Google it though.
Okay.
Nah,
I'm gonna Google it.
While you Googling that, another thing that happened in this episode was Sid going back and forth with the guy. Like, are they playing too much of the note of, is she going to sign an agreement? Is she going to go to the other restaurant? Did this do it for you, Ken, or are they dragging this
I
out?
don't know about you, Rob, but I got sick of this shit, bro. Because they did this shit last season.
Yeah, this is an
Exactly.
old story.
Like, and they drug it out the whole fucking
Yeah.
bro.
So
Like,
we still
get this shit
doing it.
over
Yeah,
with,
I'm
bro.
with you. I'm with you, bro.
This shit was so fucking annoying. It led to a really good moment later on,
Yeah.
but nah, Spike, nah, not for me. I'm just like, oh, we're gonna. And I could tell. I'm like, oh, we're gonna do this whole season.
There wasn't no need to keep this going.
No,
There's no need for
Like you said, you drug it out already. So why are we doing this again?
Like, I feel like we should have started the season with an answer. Like, then
Yeah.
let the repercussions play out from
Exactly.
there. But I did not need that. What you see, Mike?
some
I
fake
just see
shit.
no. I see
Yeah.
people asking the same questions we're asking. Is Marcus gay? Is Marcus bisexual? What's up with him and his roommate? I don't think me and Spike are just making this shit up. I don't know that it's 100% there, but I was absolutely getting weird vibes.
I thought that Mark is straight with the gay friend that was commenting on
Yes.
a guy he went to did this thing with
Absolutely.
overseas that he thought he was hot.
That's what I
And
But why
then-
was he acting before that? Why was he acting?
He was acting nasty towards the dude for no reason, and then the guy even said, like,
in
"Did I
episode
do something?"
2?
He
The
was
guy
acting,
said,
yes.
"Did I do something?"
Yes.
He was like, "Why he
Because
acting like
he
that towards
he
me?"
got flustered. He did not expect to see him there. So he walked in, was like, oh my God, this is the guy I was fanning over in episode 2.
But the other chef asked when the roommate was acting weird, he was like, did I do something?
Yeah, the Will Porter's character,
Oh,
Luca, whatever his name was.
He's been acting weird damn near this whole show. And I was seriously like, what the fuck did I miss from season 3? Why is this dude acting like this?
Yes.
Even before he even met Will Poulter. Anytime they were together, I was like, this dude's acting weird. Until y'all said it just now, I didn't even know that it was out that he was gay. Did they say that he was gay?
They didn't
okay.
outright say it, no.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
but it's, you just put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, right. I guess
Obviously.
I couldn't. I made 6 instead of 4. I didn't know that he was all the way gay. I was just like, something's weird here.
Yeah, that's true. Rod,
Yo.
there was an emphasis on how well the sandwich shop was doing. Did that storyline work for you at all?
The beef storyline doesn't really work for me, honestly
Okay.
speaking. It's okay. Because the beef is not the beef anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that beef storyline was way better than what's going on now. He's trying to carry out a legacy of the beef, and that part, it just don't make sense to me. If anyone was trying to carry out that legacy, it would be one of the originators of it, not him. So
Well, the black
that's
guy was
the
there
part.
originally, right?
If he was,
Yeah.
that's not the person that I would think would carry out the legacy of the beef. Personally,
Racist.
It would be Richie or somebody like that or even old girl.
Tina.
It would be her. Like, you know what I'm saying? It would be one of those people, not him.
Damn, that's fucked up. Why?
I don't know. He's
been
probably my least favorite character on the show.
I think it's a good redemption story because remember he wasn't in at all.
I remember that.
And he has settled into like this is my role. This is what
I remember
do
that.
here. And I think this is a good redemption story to show. Like everybody else so preoccupied with the fair. I'm running a thriving business, probably the best part of the business over here. I was the last one in.
And he's the one that's going to end up saving them
The
because
whole business.
his company is going to start making money.
I like the angle that they brought with it, but it's the least interesting story to me. I feel like that's what you asked me.
I get you. I think I'm just more surprised that you think that he shouldn't be the one to continue it because Richie can't be the one to continue it.
I know
'Cause
that.
he's so tied up with this. Who's the other person? Tina had nothing to do with that.
But I
So-
like how she came in though. Mikey gave her an opportunity. I get it. None of the higher end chefs
Right.
can do this.
right.
I get that. But again, I'm not saying that it's not a smart thing to carry on the beef legacy. All I'm saying is that it's just the least favorite part for me.
No, the least favorite part, that's fine, because it's my least favorite part too. I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was just more shocked that you didn't think that Ibrahim should be the person that
Yeah, I don't know. I just,
because he's like the only one that's like left from that old crew that never progressed.
It makes
to high-end
sense.
chef.
It
That's
makes
why I
sense.
love
But
it.
why you do it with the black?
Because
Because he can't do
think
the
it's
other shit.
Exactly.
I didn't see that. And that's fucked up.
I don't think that's fucked up because
Yeah.
he made this business thrive doing real sandwiches. He wasn't interested in being a
Skill
high-end
sets,
chef.
bro.
I get you.
Yeah.
I
He's
get
just
you.
not
I
good at
love
the
it.
other shit.
I
So,
love
but he's
it.
really good at this.
But Tina wouldn't be good at this either.
Hell
Tina couldn't
no.
do what Ibrahim is doing.
I get you.
I love it, man. But I get it. You don't like it.
I like the
Yeah.
arc. I like the character arc. I like he took. I won't say took nothing and made it to something, but he took what.
kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Well, it's
that's
not
what-
nothing. I mean, the beef is the beef.
Yeah, but it's even more successful now than
Yes.
it was when they were running it. And he just
Yes.
doing it through efficiency, service times, and things of that nature. What do you think, Ken?
And honestly, probably tapping into some military shit because them motherfuckers' brains
yeah.
operate differently. Because I love that line. He was like, "Oh man, you don't fuck around." He was like, "Not since Kuwait." It's just like, which probably showed him that life is precious.
Facts.
So I don't have time to really fuck around with a lot of shit. I'm very much I'm with Rod in the sense that in terms of the story itself, it isn't all that interesting. I didn't like how he can't speak English because he was saying, "Look at this," and he was adding the ed to shit. I'm like, why y'all doing that to him, bro? That shit was fucked up, by
American-born black folks do that.
I know, and
He does that. So what are we talking about?
I just don't like it depicted.
I don't like it.
I like it. This is natural. This is normal. Like for a first generation, what I assume at least, a first generation immigrant to not speak perfect English. What's wrong with that?
I don't feel like he was doing the looking and talk it in the first 3 episodes. I could very much
You
be
could
wrong.
be. I don't
because
remember.
I didn't go back and rewatch it, so it's kind of stood out to me. Nevertheless, the conversations were good. I like the conversation
Yeah, the
he was having
conversation
with
was
the white
good.
guy.
The
Yeah.
business acumen
Yes.
was good. All of that stuff is
That's
good.
what I liked.
So dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
and
that's
that guy's
good.
a real guy. I don't know who he is, but
Yeah, he
you
one
can
of
tell
those
he's definitely not an
Like an
actor.
investor
Yeah,
type
yeah.
dude.
Okay,
That's what,
yeah.
I'm not asking. That's probably.
Oh,
he
I don't
is.
know.
He
I don't
is.
know. Yeah.
He one of
He
those
is.
like business.
I can see
type
that.
dudes. Yeah.
But I just love like some of the things he was saying. It was like, oh wait, you're doing all this in a third of the time, but when he starts working, I was like, oh shit, we got something here.
Yeah.
You know,
And he was doubtful at first, and then he started getting understanding. He's like, oh shit. All right, that was episode 2, which was some waste or whatever it's called. The next episode was called Scallop, episode 3. In this episode, Carm, he praises this scallop dish that Sid does, wants to put it on the menu the same day. Richie continues putting off the decision on whether to attend his ex-wife wedding. Donna helps serial efforts to sell his house. Ibrahim hires that business accountant that we were talking about. Albert Schnur is his name. On teaching him how to expand the business. Marcus wants more firepower for desserts. Richie really shined in this episode. This is where the family came in. He had the snow for them.
Oh, man.
They got the beef that they wanted. We're never getting to try it. And Carm. In this episode, Carm was a lot less anxious than he has been, and we see him progressively getting less anxious than he has been. I get your thoughts about the episode, but I want to know, Mike, does a less anxious Carm work for this show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of, we'll get there. That's part of why the ending was like, I'm not sure about this. But I still think he's anxious. I think that I love that he constantly says, I'm working on it. I'm trying. I'm working on it. I'm trying. We see that throughout this season. He's trying to be a different person. So yeah, I think it could absolutely work. Because he's not going to ever be perfect.
Right.
It's going to take that one thing to send him spiraling. So, yeah.
What about you, Ken? You think a less anxious Carm is good or bad for the bear?
I think they need a different version of Carm that is less anxious and more open, because Carm is really good at what he does, and I think his anxiety helps with the business, but in a negative way though. Like they've gotten to where they are because of it, but now he's becoming like part of the issue. You know, and for them to move forward, he has to change, and he's changing because Sydney is there to kind of help, you know, offset that. And they've had that relationship where Carm will fly out of control, but Sydney will be there to kind of smooth things out and kind of, you know, help people move forward. Like, look, this Carm, look, but this is what we need to do, et cetera, et cetera. I don't like this version of Carm, you know, but I think that this version of Carm is needed. And I don't know if Carm being less anxious would kind of, I don't know if it would like impact them, because it's almost like Carm needs to challenge himself. And when he challenges himself, he challenges others. And when others are challenged, they rise to the occasion. You know, so it's weird, bro. It's weird, but he has character flaws. And, you know, he needs to be able to, because he's driving Sydney away.
He's driving everyone away. I mean, I disagree with the rising to the occasion. They just do what they have to do. They don't they like him as a person. They love him as a person. But everything, we talked about this last time. Everything he does is fucking up the business.
I think
I think the real quick, Spike, I'm gonna pull one of your moves. I think the one thing he needs to be open to listening to, this is the one thing I see just overall as a business, is really listening to the insight of everybody telling them, bro, we can't keep changing the menu. And his stubbornness there is the one thing I was like, bro, you really got to let this shit go.
The one thing that's the problem is he thinks he can make all of the decisions for the restaurant without talking to anybody. And when he does that, the shit falls apart. He won't listen to anybody. And then it's broken. And then he's like, well, we just got to try harder. It's like, no, bitch, stop doing this shit. Stop doing this shit. If you want to change the menu every day, bring it to us and let's all discuss it. So Tina can tell you, get the fuck out of here with that shit. But he never does that.
I think
So, yeah.
Carm he thrives in chaos.
Yes.
You've seen from all the other episodes, but the problem is the rest of the crew doesn't thrive in chaos.
That's exactly. Yep.
And then they start excelling once we see. He saw it too. Once they bring in the non-negotiable people and they set the menu down, he's seeing like, oh, they're getting better than they were with me, like having everything chaotic and going crazy around them. So I do think it's good for the restaurant. It did change the tone of the show a little bit for me. I still enjoy the show and like the show, but the intensity of like the first 2 seasons, especially like when you had the one with the tickets coming and you had the one with fire, this and that, like that, all the like as intense as it was, it lost a little bit of that when you lost Carm's anxious.
But you know what, Spike? The reason I enjoy this more is because I like them challenging themselves
and not Carm, right?
Yeah, and not Carm making them do shit. That's what makes this so good at this point. They definitely got better because Carm was being a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, they felt like they had to get better. But watching Tina challenge herself and be like, I have to get this pasta dish under, was it 3 minutes?
Yeah.
4 minutes, whatever it was. I got so much more enjoyment out of that than I did watching Carmen just yelling at them.
I agree with
you
that.
know.
I think Spike, the non-negotiables are doing what Carm is doing, just in a different way.
Yes.
Yes. I
You know,
agree.
so it's still the anxiety
better
and
at
pressure of being better. It's just the communication is different. Carm is terrible at communication. I can relate to that. I told you, I relate to Carm. I get it. I understand. It's a character flaw that you thrive and work on to be better, because you just get stuck in your own world and just lost, right? But you realize that is causing an issue and a fracture with everybody else, because everybody else need the one thing that he's not good at. And he's working on it. He was a lot better in it in this episode. And even sometimes it seemed like they were like, wait, that's weird. Like Sydney was like, wait, huh?
It was that
she was
easy?
hard. She was hard to. She had trouble processing it.
Yes.
'Cause she's
from
not
him.
used to it.
Yeah.
Did you like the less anxious Carm? Rod?
Ken and I has been on the same page so far with our takes or whatever, because like
Marcus and his roommate.
yeah. So yeah, it's weird. Not weird, but it makes sense that we on the same page. But yeah, cause like I feel like I think what Ken was saying was like the anxious Carm worked at first to get them where they are now, and now that they are where they are now, the less anxious Carm works as well, which is kind of going to what Mike is saying. With now they're dealing with their own set of problems, their own set of issues or whatever. So yeah, it does. The show has found a way to balance itself out, and that's that's the beauty of this show.
It has
bro.
grown. Yeah, that is a really good point.
But one more thing, it makes me think of those conversations we keep having about, when someone's trying to learn, and instead of you being calm and teaching them, you just start screaming at them. And it's like, Rod always, it helped, but I'm like, well, but what if I had approached it in a different way? Would you have been more receptive to it? That's how I look at this. It's like, they may have still grown if Carm was just like, yo, like, this is what I want to accomplish. Let's try it this way. Versus, nope, this is what I'm doing, and you need to step up. Let's go.
This is non-negotiable.
It's a non-negotiable. It's like, well, how do you know if Tina may have responded in a better way if you had just asked her opinion or introduced the idea in a normal way? So I think that's what's so interesting about this show, because you look at Tina, you look at Marcus. Those are two people that have thrived throughout this show. Tina does not take well to people screaming at her. And I don't think Marcus does either. But look where Marcus ended up. Look where Tina ended up. They might have gotten there faster had Carmen not been an asshole.
But I feel like it was tough love, though. I feel like
it didn't feel like tough love. Maybe with Marcus, but it didn't feel that way towards Tina.
I feel like even with her, it was tough love.
Did she need that, though? Do you think Tina needed to? She's a grown ass woman. I don't know that Tina needed
Because she was
tough
snappy.
love.
Y'all remember how she was?
But she
You had
changed.
to-
She changed because of Sid, not because of Carmen.
I feel she changed because of Sid,
Yeah.
but Carm, I think he orchestrated all of that, though.
I don't think so. I think she changed 99% because of Sid, because Sid actually respected her and saw that she had something in her and pushed her to go there.
Sid had to be the communicator, Rod.
Right.
Carm
But
was
Carm
just
put her in
yelling
that.
about
But Carm
shit.
put her in that position to be the communicator, though.
Now you're just cheating.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
And she, one of the main things
I get what
too,
you're saying.
She wanted to grow.
Of course he does. Roomy. I'm gonna stop before y'all get mad. Let me stop.
I went mad.
Let me stop.
One of the main things with Tina is she wanted to grow, though. And like
Exactly.
once she found that space to grow, she thrived. So
Exactly.
I think
Because it took somebody to be like, "Oh, you want to do this?
Right, here's-
okay, well,
here,
this
let
is
me
how
start
you
you
do
off."
it."
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true.
Carm didn't really do that.
All right.
Well, he did, but
before
In his own
episode
way.
3
in his own way.
before episode 3 ends, we get Carm taking the L train, running a block, and he finally meets Claire again.
Oh my God, this scene was so good, y'all.
I was.
good.
This
Oh
is
my
right here
God,
in my
this scene was
notes.
so good.
Mike, in my notes, it said, "How good is this scene with
Talk
Carm
to
and
Mike.
Claire?"
I hated all this.
Oh, you're tripping, bro. I was at my fucking couch.
This was-
speechless.
I was the first 2 episodes. I was like, okay, they're getting back in that groove,
And that's
It
why I
got to
said,
this in
and that's
3,
why I said up until at this point I'm still with Ken now because I knew at some point
it was going to change.
I
It
knew
was
it was
gonna
gonna break off at some point. I knew, this is why I said
It was.
God.
I could have did without him running the whole block and us seeing it. That's fine, but that's a minor gripe. From the moment he knocked on the door and you get your boy there, he's like, "Bro, what are you doing?" and he was like trying to stumble around how to tell him and stuff like that. And then he calls her to the door. She comes outside, has to go back inside to gather herself,
Yes.
and then come out and they have the conversation like very few television
Bro.
shows do it like well.
Spike, that was in my brain coming to here.
Take it
How
away.
do you write a scene
Take
like
it
this?
away, Mike. That
Where you
was-
are screaming at each other like
Oh,
this,
it was so
over
good.
talking each other, but like somehow the audience is still able to pick up both sides of the conversation. And he's like, no, Claire, I want to do, no, you can't do it. I know, you can't, bro.
And they
this
do it
whole
so
scene,
well.
I was just like, oh my God, this is too good.
You
I
felt
don't know what you were watching.
You felt like you were walking by and you just
Which
stumbled into somebody's
that
argument.
happened quite a few times in this show.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
like,
but
bro,
yeah.
what? in
This
the
felt
fuck?
like a real conversation, a real argument that would happen on the street. It didn't feel like it was a show being written.
Yeah.
Ken, what was your problem?
Look, I know my strengths, bro. And this is where y'all got it. I would just let y'all handle it and have the conversation.
Nah, Ken, I want to know too. What happened where you were just like, bruh, get this shit out of here?
It's just like,
It's the feelings. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Makes
it's just
sense.
like as soon as he went in the freezer, I think in this episode, I was like, bruh, is he gonna think about Claire? It's just like, it's just and it's and I'm like, yeah, I think you're right, right? It's like, okay, it's fine. I like the business part, them trying to win and succeed, and all this other stuff. Claire just got in the way. For most of the part.
So this show don't work with you for like from a love aspect with Claire and Carm.
I know they
figure
need
it
it.
out.
It's something Rod always says. I know they need this thing to pull people in. I think the dialogue is good, but sometimes their dialogue gets very cheesy, like, where they just start say something that somebody else just said. You want to smoke a cigarette? Yeah, I want to smoke a cigarette. You want to smoke it? It's just like y'all keep repeating each other, bro.
But wouldn't that happen in real life though? If me and you were talking about something and Rod ain't there and Rod comes in, we're gonna have to repeat because it happens all the time.
But
You
they
gotta
repeat it to each other, though.
huh?
They repeat it to each other.
Oh, I don't think I noticed that.
Yeah, yeah, they do it.
Cousin does it a lot. The cousin, you want to smoke a cigarette? Yeah, I want to smoke a fucking cigarette, like something like that.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all hate me.
Rod, did you have anything for more on the Carm and scene at the end with Claire?
No, man, it's just again beautiful writing, beautiful acting.
So good.
Like it's executed so well. The beats that are in this, like it. Yeah, man, they just do this really well, and so yeah, I think they thrive in all of these places. They thrive in really chaos. Honestly, no matter whether that's
Yeah,
in
that
the
was
kitchen
chaos.
or,
Yeah,
or whether
yeah.
it's in regular conversation. So yeah, man, they do it really, really well.
I keep meaning to look Claire up because I don't think I recognize her from anything, but she's really good.
Yeah,
She is, right?
she's
is.
really fucking good.
And she's witty, like she's always been witty. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, episode 3. That's what that was called. Scallop. This is episode 4. Worms. In this episode, Shapiro brings Sydney to visit her the new restaurant that's under construction. He promised her autonomy, an increased investment in the staff is learning. Sid then visits her cousin Chantel's house, the 11-year-old daughter. Was with an 11-year-old
Wait, this
daughter.
happened this early?
Yep, episode 4.
Well, this
That's
is
right.
This is almost midway. Right?
Yeah, we are.
So Sid bonds with Chantel's 11-year-old daughter, whose name is TJ. Took her shopping for groceries, cooked her a meal, talked through ongoing conflicts with friends. Sid used the metaphor of sleepovers to discuss her indecision between staying at the Bear and moving to Shapiro's restaurant. Afterward, Sydney called Shapiro to discuss going over the paperwork for their partnership. Rod, how did this episode sit with you?
It was dope, man. This is when I was saying this is how you black TV right here. It felt so natural
It did.
from the hair stuff. Like, oh yeah, little girl, let me go and get this hair real quick. Just watch her. She's gonna be on her iPad anyway. like yeah, they both like Sid really shined here.
Yes,
she really shined here. This is probably one of her best performances in this show. Like she was really good here, man. And it was her in a different element too. We hadn't seen her like
seen this before.
so I was just like, oh man, this is really cool. We haven't seen this side of her because she said she was like nigga, like she was just doing all kind of stuff we hadn't seen her do, and I thought it was really really dope. And the little girl was dope.
She was great.
Really good child
Yeah.
actor.
Great.
That stood
Yeah.
out to me. The child actor was
Yeah.
really good. And I'll throw it to you next, Mike. What made this episode so good as well, it didn't seem forced.
No,
Like, it
Yeah.
kind of reminded me of that Tina episode that they had last season, where they're like, we're just going to throw you into their world for a
Yes.
day. Like, you've seen Sid in a restaurant, and we've had solo episodes with her before, but this one
Yeah.
was different. Like you said, it gave a real black feeling. What'd you think?
and I couldn't wait to see what she was gonna do with that damn hamburger helper. We knew she was gonna.
Me too,
I
bro.
always
Hey.
knew you going to I wanted to fix me something like that too, Rob.
Maybe want to go get some hamburger helpers.
Right. I did. I did.
I've been wanting
Tomato
to give me
paste
some
and all.
hamburger helpers since then.
Tomato
bro.
paste and all. My wife had some in the refrigerator. I told her about it.
Was
Bruh.
it good?
It worked. Because she was like, oh, yeah, that's all you have to do. I said, I got to try it.
I got to try that because I sure wanted to do that, man.
Oh man, that shit was great.
Mike, what you think about this episode?
One of the things that Rod just hit on was exactly what I noticed. It was like, we have not seen Sid in this element. And the first thing I started thinking is, this is how you show someone that has to code switch. She
Great
cannot
point.
act with her friends
Great
the way
point.
she acts at the bear. So when she's going around, nigga this, nigga that, and she didn't do that a lot, but I mean, you know, just
yeah, but it was
It was enough to make it feel
felt
authentic.
Yeah, it felt
Yeah,
different.
It felt
Yeah.
authentic.
I think that that's what made this so good because I mean, obviously Sid is black,
Right.
You know, but when you're watching this show, for the most part, her at the bear, she could be any race.
Yes.
But I think it's beautiful the way that they took that and they dumped that into this other world and they show her in her other element, getting her hair done, talking to the kid, taking her to the bodega, talking about candy. Oh, last time I ate it made my tooth hurt, but you can get it anyway. It's like this shit felt so natural. And I don't, you know, I get what Rod's getting at and I get what show he's shooting at. I agree. I agree maybe 85%. Like I feel like this just felt so normal. And it's like, how do you get people to do this so normal? But when other people do it, it's just like, this feels weird and
stretched. Yeah.
I don't know. Because you have a child and a young actress.
Absolutely.
And it just
and
worked.
they killed it
Yes.
for fucking 30 minutes walking around the city of New York.
It never felt like
Or Chicago, I mean.
it never felt like they were pushing it either.
Oh, Chicago too. Didn't even think about that.
some
They
shit.
both in
that
Chicago
some
too.
shit?
And we ain't seen no drive-bys yet.
Ken, what you think?
I didn't even think about
You know
the
what
fact
I'm
that it was in
saying?
Chicago.
What'd you think about this episode, Ken?
Ironheart needs to find out who wrote this episode.
See, Ken just want to go out there and just
Look, nah, man, we gotta look. We just have, nah, bro. 'Cause-
Ironheart don't need no strays, Ken.
Yes, they do. Because everything you guys nailed it, and that was the first thought I had. Even the cousin
Yes.
didn't. I like it.
Oh, she's
felt
so good.
so natural.
Yes.
It was, and it was really beautiful. And I was really thinking about like the kid because that middle school, I think she was going to fifth grade or whatever, and just how the kid was so real. Having kids, I was like, they nailed that shit too.
Yeah. Everything.
Even the part, Rod, so simple as, oh, my mom don't care about cursing. Like that's a
yeah,
conversation that's been taking place. I've had it on Is the Mic Salon about like the progression of kids cursing and where we're gonna go with that in the future, right? The thing about it, because you guys already talked about that stuff brilliantly. The thing that it didn't hit me until yesterday, I believe. And I was going through the episode, and I had to just talk to my wife about this. I was like, oh my God, something about the hair. And her just starting with her taking their hair down. If anybody's ever talked to any woman, it don't matter black or white, there's a thing that they fucking do with their hair, bro. And they'll all tell you like that the hair and getting in the shower, take your hair down and stuff like that. They always talk about that shit and what that means. Her just taking her hair down getting in the chair and her hair being halfway done. She's like, it's like she split. Because think about where she's at.
the
She
decision-making.
split. Her whole conversation was about being split on a decision.
Wow.
And not knowing what to do.
Oh, you didn't get that?
I did.
I did not. Damn.
That's what he would have did to you. That's what Rob
That's what he would do to me.
Exactly what I was.
Yep.
Bro, it's so symbolic, metaphorical,
It was,
and I'm
man.
like,
Dope.
yo. And look, Rod, it took me a second. I was like, oh my God, I think I missed the other point about it. That's why I had to talk to a black woman, my wife, or just a woman peer. I was like, yo, are they saying this? And she kind of was like, yeah. And she broke it down. And then the cousin coming back after the conversation, putting their hair back together, and then this whole thing where they all just came together as one.
Yeah.
And just the hugging. The daughter knows, her niece know what she's gonna do now. Sydney has some clarity on what she's gonna do now, and she was put back together. She was whole again, and I was like, "Yo, that's kind of crazy."
Yeah.
And the thing about it that made this so beautiful is that if you want to know some shit, bro, and you want some honest,
Ask
real
your
hairdresser.
or your barber.
Go to the hairdresser or the barber
kids, bro,
Oh,
kids.
okay.
fucking
That too.
kids,
That's
That
true.
too.
That's
kids.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 'cause-
Kids will tell you shit because they don't. They haven't lived the world, so they only know it
In
one
simple
way.
terms, in very simple thing. Yeah.
Because she said, man, yeah. So she was just really breaking it down and just answered like, well, shit, you like the pizza? Go get the pizza.
Right.
Because
Right.
the nuances, the complexity of the world, they don't know about it.
Yep.
Like the niece is experiencing it now.
Yes.
Like I got to go to another school. I only got invited to this party probably because they felt sorry for me. And now she's having to learn the complexity of that and deal with it because that's eventually at some point when she grow up, she's going to have to deal with. Man, but yeah, this whole thing was just like magnificent. By far, for me, one of the best episodes the Bears ever done.
I'm glad Ken threw that
Agreed.
part out because I was gonna bring that up, but I could visualize in my head. I was like, nah, you're reaching. That's not what's happening. Because I thought the same thing. Because like one side was chaos, the other side was neat, and I was like, I wonder if that's what they're going with. She's trying to figure out: do I stay with the chaos of the bear, or do I go with this other thing? And then at the end, she realizes, well, all of this can be neat because she's walking around with the hat on, and I thought that was her trying to decide which side makes more sense. Which side do I go with?
That's a thinking cap.
Because that shit was big.
Hey, look, I can go there too with y'all. Hey, we got
What you
it.
got, Spike?
No, I just thought everything that y'all said was spot on. But what we say about having some black people had to be associated with this, and I think one of the other brilliant parts, other than it being an episode, is them knowing that we needed it because they wouldn't. Normally, a show wouldn't throw anything like this, and especially with a character like Sid, like you said, Mike. We've always seen her coach, but it was so brilliant to do this episode, and because I would have never thought we were getting an episode like this. But then when it starts, you see the hair, you're like, oh, I know that. That's what I said out loud. I know they ain't finna go here. Like her in the barbershop. I mean, being the hair
And her
salon.
friends,
Her cousin.
room.
Yeah, cousins room, like being
Yeah.
a real
Her
like,
cousin,
I'm finna be black.
Yep.
So I thought that to even know that they could add this in and it would work well, it was
The fact that
great.
we didn't even know she was code switching.
Right.
I thought that was just
great.
regular
her,
old sis.
how she
That's a good
act.
point.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We felt at home with her.
She do it
Yes.
so exactly. We finally felt her let herself like be her.
Bro,
Yep.
the cousin just walking up to my, I better not find any hair up in there. Like all the steps
All of that.
stomping
You
up.
heard the kid's response?
Yeah.
I hollered. She was like, did you look? I look. Damn. Whatever the kid said, I was dying.
You're right, yeah. And then-
And then her look was like,
Yes, it was so good.
That's what I said. Are we here?
Really just
Are we
said-
here? We all the way
Bro,
here.
I know that woman. I've seen this.
Yes.
I know
Yeah, that's
her.
our mothers.
Yes.
Yes. That's
I
our
had that
mothers.
conversation. Oh, you ain't look for it.
Oh,
Right.
And real quick, I know we got to move on. Just the small thing when she went down, started getting her keys and stuff like that. Didn't even say whether it was
finna
up there or not. Nah, she was right.
Right.
Bro, the delivery, the timing,
Yeah,
perfect. Man, bro, that
Perfect.
shit was great,
Such a great
bro.
episode, man.
Yeah, Ironheart, take notes.
Yeah.
Damn, more strays.
At the
Sorry,
end
I ain't
of
have
this
to add that
episode, she does call Shapiro back and starts to discuss going over the paperwork. Did y'all think that she had made a decision?
Real quick before y'all go, because I didn't answer this other part. I think only Rod and Ken did. I disagree with y'all about them dragging this part out. I liked it.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like this is a decision that is worthy of dragging out for 2 seasons.
Interesting.
Because it's such an important decision for her to make. So I just want to throw that out there before I forgot.
That's fair.
Did you think that she had made her decision when this episode was over?
No. No.
I think she did.
Oh, really?
I think she did make her decision.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We just didn't know what it was, and I think she changed her decision.
Oh, I see. So you think she was going to go with Shapiro, and then she decided later on not to.
Yep.
Okay.
I think they kind of answered that though.
Did they? Maybe I
I
missed
think
it.
so. Towards the end, they did. I think
She did say she switched.
Oh, she did.
Oh,
Okay,
she said it?
I must have missed it.
I
She
missed
did
it
say
too.
that at some point that she switched back over because she had made her decision. I think when she
Okay.
was
I
talking
think
to
they
Carmen.
answered it. Yeah.
All right, that was episode 4. A really good episode called Worms. This next episode is called Replicants. It's Carmi. He's attending an AI Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. He's moved by another member's vivid story of his brother's addiction. Sid receives an updated agreement from Carmi because remember he called the lawyer and said he wanted to change that agreement earlier. Marcus sells his mother's home. His roommate Chester helps him out. Carm hires Luca to stage to help Marcus. Carm reveals to Sid that he has decided on a set menu, which he appreciates. He admits his inconsistency. Natalie brings the baby Sophie to the restaurant, and Sydney receives a call from the hospital saying her father has suffered a heart attack. Did you guys think earlier in the series when she did answer the phone, did you think that something was going to happen to Sid's father?
100%.
I
Yeah.
thought they were foreshadowing that.
Oh,
I thought he was going to die.
I thought he was going to die.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to show her ignoring calls, not want to talk to him, and then they would call her and say he was going to pass.
The only reason I figured that they're not going to do that after I thought about it for a while is because they did it to Marcus. And they're not going to repeat the same
They
story.
did do it to Marcus because he did miss the call too.
Yes.
Okay. Did you think that something was going to happen to her dad, Ken?
I did. I'm glad it didn't. I like him. I think we got a really good moment from Sydney. I think this also helped change her mind too, as well. But yeah, I did think something was going to happen to the dad.
Right. What about you?
Yes. Yeah. This was foreshadowing for sure.
I definitely thought it was
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Did the long monologue in the beginning work at the AI meeting for y'all? Like, did that?
I'm trying
register?
to remember when you were reading through your notes. I'm trying to remember
The monologue. What now?
The episode started with the guy talking in the Alcoholics Anonymous. Obviously, it didn't work because you don't remember.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, he was talking about what happened to his brother, and his brother did some stuff, and Carm was just like in awe of the story.
What was? Do y'all remember anything
I
about the
don't.
story? 'Cause I usually
vaguely-
like the long monologues in this
I
show.
vaguely remember.
Don't
the
worry
story.
about it.
Yeah.
I'll look at
Yeah. Yeah. I think everything else was better because this is where we got Sid's monologue, right? So I think hers was better than
Wait. Her monologue. I thought. Which monologue?
the one at the end to her to Claire.
I thought that was in the next episode.
That's what man.
Okay.
I thought it was
Claire?
in this.
We on episode 5.
Yeah, that's no.
That's
This
episode
one
6.
ends with her finding out that there's.
It ends that.
Am I
way?
wrong?
Which what
Yeah,
you
it
saying?
ends with
So
her
when I-
finding out something happened to
And
her
then
dad.
the next one, she goes to the hospital, right?
Yes.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, she ends. Yeah, she goes and talk to her dad. So
Because remember,
Yeah.
so this whole thing about bringing the baby in, you have life, and then you almost end it with
Yes.
death.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
So you're thinking the next episode, which I agree with you. That monologue was incredible.
Yeah.
Because I think they were cussing each other out, and then something was happening. Then
Yeah, they were
brought in-
arguing.
yeah, then everybody kind of got calm and relaxed, and
And then you have all the cousins trying to they want to go Fack and the other guy want to go touch the baby, and she's like, "No, you cannot hold the baby."
Oh yeah, that
I
happened
loved
in
all
this,
of that shit.
all of that was good.
I loved all of that shit.
That's all really for that episode, unless y'all had more from it.
I can't think of anything really specific or important of note from this episode outside of what happened with her dad.
Okay. So let's get into it.
She killed just that 10-second scene of her finding out what was
That he
going
was-
on. She killed it.
She's a great actor. Maybe
She
that's
fucking
why.
is. I don't know why she was in Opus.
They know they can't keep this talent continuing to come back here for this show. Maybe
But she's showing a different level on this show than
is.
she's shown in other things I've seen her in.
That is true.
I think she's always good. In this, she's great.
Facts. Yep. All right. Episode 6 is entitled Sophie. Sydney arrives at the hospital in a panic.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, Claire tells her that her father is recovering. Sydney breaks down in tears over her guilt about making her father worry about her. Claire comforts her, assuring her that it's a good thing to worry about the loved ones. Richie opens up to Jess about his insecurities over parenting his daughter with Tiff, his fiance Frank, his anxiety about attending the wedding. Albert suggests to Ibrahim that he turn the beef into a window franchise. And Neil angers Natalie when he says he invited his sister Frances whom Natalie despises, to Tiff's wedding. Carmen, who was also hesitating to go to Tiff's wedding out of fear of seeing Donna, agrees to go out to talking with Nat. A lot to unpack here. What about the monologue, Mike? To begin.
It was masterclass acting and masterclass writing, because the whole time I was like, this does not feel like I'm watching a TV show. This feels like I'm sitting in a hospital across from somebody that's having a fucking breakdown.
Yes.
None of it sounded written. And the way she's beating herself up about not following up with him, and then she's beating herself up because she's like, he shouldn't have to be worried about me like this. He's always worried about me. And then just watching her cry, I'm like, I believe everything you're saying right now.
Great.
She was amazing in the scene. And the whole time I'm sitting there watching her, I'm just like, bro, I'm glad I'm watching this by myself. Damn. This is heavy.
Yeah, this did give you a lump in your throat, like, oh damn, this is like realistic.
And for me, it's times 10.
What you say?
You said,
I don't know.
this lump in the throat, I got you.
Yeah.
Man. We're going to move past it. We're going to move past it. We're going to move past it.
love you got.
We're going to move past it.
Man, you like the beef?
Nah, it's crazy. I like the beef. It's crazy. But no, times 10 for me, because I can relate. Like, it's like, that's how I want my daughter to feel about me. You know what I mean? Like my daughter right now, man, is just so detached. Like, it's the craziest thing, and you do so much for them.
This our first year of college, though. You're gonna get that, right?
Oh no, that's
okay.
my
Gotcha,
mid child. I'm
gotcha,
talking
gotcha,
about my
gotcha.
oldest.
Okay.
My oldest acts like Sid, like she can't call nobody, like, and I'm always calling her, just trying. You know, obviously that's my firstborn child. I love her to death, and so I'm thinking like it would take something like this to draw that type of emotion out.
I hope not.
You know what I'm saying, bro? I'm telling you, man, she's stone cold. My oldest is stone cold, man. Like, I'm so grateful for the love that Dom shows me, because I don't get it from her. I don't get it from her.
Does she know that? Well, never mind. We talk about that later.
Yeah, it's deeper. But yeah, so that hit me. The lump in the throat, y'all said, like, that hit me even harder. Like, it's just like, shit. I wish I can get that that feeling. So, you know, yeah.
Ken, what'd you think about about he didn't like it.
I ain't like none of this shit. They crying, saying they love each other and shit. Go cook something, bitch. Shit. Make me a hamburger, goddammit.
It is unfortunate that the niece never had a hamburger helper. I think everybody kids should have a hamburger helper at some point, but that's neither here nor there. It didn't do it for me like the way it did for y'all. But
This is crazy.
I understand. Like, I get it. Like, you know, if you're that type of person, it would.
If you that type of person,
You soft and shit, you know what I'm saying?
you love your kids.
Yo, that's right. I'm over here loving people and shit. Oh, loving ass motherfucker.
Because I'm like, why the fuck is Claire there, bro?
Because she likes Sid.
She works there.
Oh, she works there.
Oh yeah.
You forgot? She was
She a nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah, she a nurse.
I'm like, oh, Claire again? God dang. Because I'm like, now they're going to try to force Claire and Carmen back together, whatever. But what I will say, though, I was like, damn, man, I probably need to make sure I call my mom more. That was the one takeaway. 'Cause
Okay,
I really
that's
don't do
good.
that.
Yeah, that's good enough.
But
It did its
she
job.
was acting her ass off. I think the dialogue is good. So I give her all props for that. It's just it didn't, overall as a scene, didn't really do
Yeah, the stammering and the talk, all that is just so you can't teach that.
No.
That
That comes
seems
from the
so
experience
authentic.
of crying. You've been through some shit. She has to have been through some shit.
Right. I felt like she had a dad that passed in real life.
Like she was drawing on some real emotion.
She was drawing on some real emotion for sure.
And then I love the way they make her so awkward, and she'll be like, "Oh, look at me, I'm making this about me," but you know, whatever. And then she goes back to it. I'm like, "Is that improvised?"
Right.
Because
so
God damn, she's good, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely think there was some improvisation.
Yeah, she added to that. I
Had
think she
to.
had to.
Oh, she's so good.
Also in this episode, Neil, who's starting to grow on me. I really hated Neil.
Who is Neil?
That's Nat's husband, the lawyer.
Oh, I don't care about him.
I hated him at first, but he is starting to grow on me a
I thought
little
that was
bit.
Pete.
Is that his name?
I
Neil
thought
or
his name
Pete?
was
I
Pete.
don't know these fucking.
it don't
These are
fucking
side
matter.
side characters. I don't care about them.
But he does tell her that he invited Francis to the wedding, and she snaps on him.
Did I miss something? Do we?
That we didn't know that. I didn't.
Okay.
At least I didn't know that. We may have missed it.
Oh,
I don't
is that the
remember
guy
seeing it.
that was hiding by the door?
No, you're thinking of fact.
That's fact.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I'm back to where I was.
I can't remember
he
what
a
he
weird
did wrong.
guy. Like
he did
from
something wrong.
when they were at Thanksgiving, he was like nobody really wanted.
What
to
is
talk to
Fact's
him.
relationship to her?
I think she calls him sweetheart and stuff.
Yeah, I was confused.
I
and
think
still
that's just
love
like a
you.
weird white Italian thing.
I'm still your
Yeah,
boy.
I think they friends.
You're still
Just-
like my little baby or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I think they're just like they grew up together.
yeah, the same neighborhood.
Okay,
I think everybody looks to Sugar like a mother figure.
Okay, all right.
And he's so immature. I could see why he would.
That shit was so fucking weird.
It was weird, but I like it. I really fucking like
It
it.
hit. It hit.
Is Neil the one that says he's afraid of all diseases? That's what you're talking about?
That was
Neil
other
is
guy,
the
right?
husband that called Sid. He called Sid and told her that there was a change made to the agreement later on. The one that nobody
Nah,
likes.
that's Pete, bro.
His name Pete.
I think it's Pete.
The one that nobody likes.
I know. Yeah, there's that guy. And then there's the other guy that has the glasses and the dark hair.
Yeah, it looked like he a fake Superman, Clark Kent.
Yeah,
I like
that
him.
guy. That's who Rod's thinking of.
Okay, yeah, I like him.
But I can't remember who he's related to.
He's married into this.
He's
'cause
married to
he was
somebody.
married to that other lady. She just showed up. He's married to the sister, the mom's sister.
Because remember episode 7, they were like, "Yeah, you don't know what you married into."
Yeah, he like
I think
I'm
that was
married.
him.
He like I'm married into this.
I'm gonna have to start this whole show over.
I'm gonna start it again too.
Yeah.
They're not that important.
Damn.
But it's that good though. All right. So now we're at episode 7, and this is entitled The Bears. Episode 7, the Barazzatos arrive at
Yeah.
Tiffany's wedding, which Richie brings Sydney along for emotional support. Carm panics upon seeing Donna again and finds a moment to himself, and he runs into Lee, who reveals to Carm that he and Mikey became friends before the latter's death and insists that Donna is working on improving herself. Sid also meets Donna and speaks positively about working with Carmi. Donna leaves the wedding soon after. Frank begs Richie to help him in consoling his daughter Eva, who's under the table, to avoid a planned dance with Frank. Richie, Frank, and Claire get under the table to talk to her and are gradually joined by most of the Brazzatos, as well as Tiff and Fax. The group takes turn opening up about their fears. Here Claire and Carm reconnect afterwards, while Natalie and Francis reveal their former best friends reconcile, and Richie returns home alone but overjoyed. I think the majority of this episode, the best part, was the under the table scene.
Yeah, this
Ron.
was a long episode.
Yes, it was.
I
Like,
hated
I
it.
over-
Once I saw, I was like, "You got to be fucking shit."
They always do this
They
though. I think.
always do this shit.
Yeah,
They
like
always
they
have
did it with
one
the
that's just
Thanksgiving
long.
or the Christmas episode.
Episode 7, I
It's
think,
vicious.
is typically around episode 7. But anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead, Rod.
No. This one took me two times to get through. The first time I fell asleep.
Yeah.
It is a lot of dialogue here.
Yes.
It's good dialogue, nonetheless. It's just a lot. And you know, you can kind of pull what you can from it or whatever. I feel like when you got an episode this long with this much dialogue, you need a little bit more action. I need a little bit more than just the argument back and forth between Natalie and
I thought
and
that
the
was
Fax
very funny.
girl or whatever. It was okay. It got kind of old. I'm glad they finally got to reconcile at some point. It was cool. I think a lot of important things happen here. I think a lot of things happened here that was necessary to happen with conversations and tying things together, tying up some loose ends. I think that's what this episode did. But it's not my favorite episode of the season, but it served its purpose, I think.
I agree with you. There's a lot of helpful dialogue to help you understand some dynamics a lot better. You're like, oh, okay, I kind of get it more and
Yeah.
understand it now. Ken, what'd you think about this episode?
Well, I'll go ahead and go because I see some head shaking. For me, it was like, all right, I just had to just get through it. That's how I felt. Yes, absolutely get through it. Like, it's just like, bro, what the hell?
Sick individual.
Just going back, I did like the business idea about expanding it into a franchise. I love those conversations he was having with a white guy. But yeah, with this, I was like, I was just annoyed when I saw it was an hour. But I understand the bear does that. So I was just like, let me just thug it out and get through it. Even the Frack and Fanny, they've been setting it up, the whole seeing them kind of go back and forth. And I guess they had a relationship or dated or something like that. I was confused because if Brie Lawrenson was there, because she was, and so they spend the money. Donna being racist towards Sydney by thinking she's the help and work for her and not knowing that he's a parent, but them having a conversation. There was that. And then how fucking big is that fucking table, bro? Right. Everybody got under that fucking table. And it was supposed to be this great big moment this great what we're like, oh, that is so adorable and sweet and shit like that. If you don't get your ass from under that motherfucking table while we got this whole fucking shit going on, you know, like, bro, I just wanted to get this shit over with.
I'll throw it to you in a second, Mike, but I do think as soon as I looked at the runtime of it, made me think of that Christmas episode. I was like, oh, they're going to try to emulate this again. They're going to try to do the same thing since it was so successful. I'm on the totally opposite side of you, Ken, as far as that under the table scene may be one of my favorite scenes of this season. I think it was really potent, and it's what the bear is. It's like it's an example of what this show like is about essentially. Mike, what'd you think about Under the Tables?
I don't know what's going on right now. I could have sworn I heard Rod saying, "Oh, it was cool, but it wasn't like my favorite." And then I came in, and then he says he don't even. I'm like, bro,
I'm with Rod.
yeah, y'all are crazy.
It's like
Me and Mike on
Y'all
the
are
same page.
bottom.
The under the table scene was like the epitome of the show.
Amazing.
Yeah,
They
this-
were trying.
They weren't trying.
They nailed
this
it.
This was them going from the chaos of that Christmas episode to a calm and them realizing where they are.
It's
and then
growth.
all of them talking about it and being open about
That's the part I said.
But it's a different family too, though, right?
what's a different family.
The Christmas episode was Carm's fam, right?
Right.
And this
Yes.
is a whole completely different family. So it shows like the difference in between the two.
It shows that they are now a family. Like this is the bear. Like it's him, it's Sid, it's Marcus. They are a family, and they're sharing how they feel about. I'm like, this episode was perfect. I don't
I
understand
agree.
how there's a gripe about anything that happened here. The acting was amazing, and the first thing that came to my mind, I'm like, who is this little girl? Because goddamn, she's good. I believe you.
thought she was good?
Yes, she was definitely good. I believe that she was a little fucking child that felt uncomfortable about being the center of attention, and she didn't want to do it. I felt, is it Josh Hartnett, who I don't really know much about?
He's
him.
from Trap.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt so much of him and Richie's conversation. It felt so real, where he's just like, I'm terrified of being a stepdad. And Richie, prior to this, was like, I'm jealous of this guy because he's so great. And then meeting him and being like, nah, man, this dude has
Insecurities.
anxiety and insecurities just like I do. Man, this episode was too fucking good. Too good. Even when Captain Marvel showed up, I was like, what is she here for? They're bickering. I believed it. But that whole shit under the table, of course, yes, I was doing the same thing you were doing. Like, how big is this fucking table? Because when Marcus got his big ass under there, I was like, okay, time out.
They in a tent now.
This,
This
yeah,
ain't a
this a
table. Y'all
tent,
in a
bro.
tent.
This a yurt. What the fuck is happening?
shit.
But nah, man, that whole shit under the table was just incredible. Incredible.
I agree. It was.
I agree. Yeah, that's the part I do agree with.
What didn't you like?
I didn't say I didn't like anything.
He like
I
how
was
long,
just
long the episode was.
Yeah. It was just like it was a lot of dialogue, and I felt like because it was a lot of dialogue, I fell asleep the first time, so I had to rewatch it.
Okay.
So when I rewatched it on the second time, I was like, yo, the stuff that they were saying was necessary to just kind of gel and piece things together. It gives you more backstory. Like I love the conversation with the stepfather and Carm. Like I thought that was so dope about the reveal of him and Mikey being friends again.
And the fact that he went to the went to the wedding. And
Yes.
left. Yeah.
So a lot of important things happen here.
Funeral.
Another thing that happened, maybe.
Thank you. Big difference.
What'd he say?
I said wedding. It was actually a funeral.
Yeah, the funeral. Yes. That I don't think I had this knowledge, and I don't know if they revealed this at all. But Richie not actually being their cousin. Did they ever say
yeah,
that?
They say that he's not.
At what point did they say that?
Like first season.
Yeah, the first season they said that.
So this whole time I've been thinking Richie is actually their cousin.
Because they call each other
I know.
cousin. But
I
like
know.
I think they're play cousins. Because I think
It's
Italians
cousins
might do
because
that
the
shit.
brothers.
It's like what
are
black
best-
folks do.
Best friends.
Yes,
it's his
exactly.
brother, best friend. So they were.
Yeah. It's like what black folks do, uncles and nephews and shit.
That's why
aunties.
Donna thinks of him as one of her kids.
Yeah, exactly. So like when
Just like black folks. Yep.
Yeah. But I feel like they really put emphasis on it this season, to do what we did at the end. But I thought that was important too.
The conversation with Claire.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
was
that was
super
good.
important. Because the whole time I'm like, they need to be together. Just fucking apologize and mean it, and hopefully she accepts it, even though she's not required to. But I thought the way that they awkwarded that up, I thought it
That
was
was
perfect.
great. That was what I was going to end it with. Like, what'd you think
my
about that
bad.
conversation? No, you great. What'd you think about that conversation with him and Claire? Like, are you here for that love story?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm 100%. First of all, I don't know if I knew this before, and I'm not trying to sexualize, but I didn't realize she was fine before. I really. Dang, he said,
Yeah, she played in something I watched, and I can't remember what it was.
I don't feel like I'd ever seen her before, and I didn't think she was unattractive or anything like that. I just never really paid her mind like that until this season. I think it's more so I'm just getting caught up in the character stories. But yes, I need them to be together because they work. She calms him down. He just needs to let her do it. But yeah, that conversation, like when they went under the table, I thought Carm was going to say, I'm afraid of like commitment, or I'm afraid of, being loved, something like that. I forgot what answer he gave. That was his biggest fear, but it was something completely arbitrary. What was it? Math. Yes. Math. I'm afraid of math. And I was like, what are you doing? But I think that just shows that he's still not all the way there to where he can admit things like this to a bunch of people. So nah, man. And then like him just closing up to her and just being like, you want to dance, and her kind of like playing coy, like she don't really want to talk to him. I'm like, girl, you want to talk to that dude. You want to talk to that dude. Nah, it was great, man.
What was Sydney's fear?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Hers was failure.
Was it?
Yep.
Okay.
So that might explain why this was such a hard choice for her throughout these 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Hers was failure, and Carm's answer would confuse me because like if before he said what his fear was, he said what's the opposite of chaos. So I thought he was going to say peace, and I'm like, your fear is peace, like you know what I'm saying?
But then he said math. And math makes sense because math is very orderly. Math isn't chaotic. Because like look at what computer's doing, right? He's chopping numbers, and he's being like, I'm looking at this from a very orderly stance.
Man, that's deep.
This
bro.
number means this number means this, and if you don't get these numbers,
kinda
then
deep.
the final thing is it's over.
You think about it,
That's deep because
That's
that's
math.
what's happening. That's what's happening with his
exactly what's
restaurant right
happening.
It
now.
ain't no.
Yes.
So the
math
math is going to
math.
kill his restaurant right
Yes.
Yep.
now.
Numbers don't
But
lie.
the chaos was working for him personally.
him.
Yeah.
Jeez.
God, that's deep, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my
Damn,
God,
that's real
man.
good.
The writing
Told
is
you,
so
bro.
good.
Who told
Jesus.
you? Jay-Z. When you said math is orderly, but math, the numbers don't lie. And the numbers in this situation, never mind. Ron was
He
with-
lost about halfway through the verse, man.
JB dropping gems. man.
And at the end of it, too, Richie returns home. He's overjoyed. Richie had a good time in this wedding he was so anxious to go to.
God, that
He was
whole
outside
arc was so
freaking out,
He
bro.
was.
Be a man. Pop
I mean, I don't have kids, obviously, and hopefully I hope this never happens to either one of y'all. But I couldn't imagine raising my kid and then my wife finds another man or whatever, and then I have to worry about
When I'm
does
gonna
my
see
kid like that dude more than they like me?
I've wondered that in my situation with my middle child. Like that's Naomi's like Bree. Bree is my stepdaughter.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I do a lot for her. You know what
That's
I'm
got
saying?
to be rough, man.
But we have a relationship though. But I wonder in the back of his mind sometimes, especially early on, if he ever felt like that. Like, dang, he's around my daughter more than I am.
I'm positive at some point he felt like that.
yeah.
I'm positive. I don't see how as
That's a real
a
life.
human that cares about your kid, I don't know how you would not think that way.
Yeah.
Oh, this shit's too good, man.
Yep. All right, episode 8 is entitled Green. In this episode, Sydney calls Shapiro. She's declining the offer.
He was so mad.
He
was
reacts
tight.
negatively.
Ooh, he was tight.
Yo,
Dickhead.
Called it an idiotic
Like
decision.
that.
Oh,
You
he is
can't
a
talk to me
dickhead.
like that.
That's why
I'm
she
sending
need to work
Marcus
for
up
him.
there, dog.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just talk to me any kind
No,
of way.
you
'cause I
can't.
told you no, bro.
Right.
Like, what you like? Come on.
I'm sending Marcus and Tina. They
and he
fucking
seemed
you
like
up.
the type of nerd that would do that too.
He did.
Until I got my way. Like, I ain't
did.
get my way. Now I'm just gonna freak
He
out.
don't like being told no, just like a
Yeah.
never.
Yep. You gotta say it.
Also in this episode, Richie tells Jess about Mikey, as far as Tina, who has been struggling to meet the goal of preparing pasta within the 3 minutes. She goes to Luca for help. He tells her to harness rather than fear the pressure she feels. I think that was a really good conversation that they had.
That goes to what we were talking about earlier.
Oh, man, it was
That's
so
the conversation that I was saying that changes shit. He says harness it instead of the fear.
And
Carmi would have given her fear, not telling her to like.
and he was so calm with her.
God,
And then he told her, and she asked him like, "Do you do that?" He was like, "Well, I'm here, right?" So
Right.
like, no, it never goes
Right.
away. I love that he
Man.
harping on that it never goes away. Luca later casually takes Tina to make a test version of the dish. He did it without her knowing, and she finally nailed it, which was really good. And Natalie and Computer go over the Bears' finances, which are still in jeopardy. They did get better, and despite all the cuts, Computer asks whether the restaurant is worth saving. And then Carm reluctantly goes to Donna's to drop off a family photo album. What did you think about Computer and the conversation with Natalie about is it worth saving?
Me,
Like,
I think it was a very deep and interesting conversation because you can look at it surface level, but once you really think about what's probably going through her mind, it's not about making money to them. It's not about like getting rich or any of that shit. It's about they have formed a family with this restaurant and they want it to go because, one, it's a tribute to Mikey, but two, this is what they know at this point. I have all of my family here. We come here and we do what we love. So when he says, what's the point in saving this? That's again, like he thinks of things in a very strict way. If you're not making these numbers, you should close it. She looks at this and says, I love these people. I love this food. I love this environment. That's why I want to keep it. So no, I thought their whole conversation was. Is that the conversation you're talking about?
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
I thought the whole conversation was beautiful, especially because they don't give the answer.
right. It just,
It cuts to her face and that's it.
Rod, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought the same. It was a good conversation because he kept asking her like, "Well, how you gonna pay for it?" The question is like, "Can you afford these people?" or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't always like Computer's role, but I really liked him in this for whatever reason. He felt a little different here. Like he got a little bit more of his personality, and so I liked anytime they had interactions with him on the show.
Why don't you like Computer?
Before he just kind of came out of nowhere. Oh, everybody is this Computer, da 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 da, and he was just like, "Who are you? Who the fuck are you? Like you coming here messing up shit." You know what I'm saying? Whereas now, he's not messing up, but he's just being real about the situation, and like they're giving it a little bit more of his character.
Yeah, he's kind of like the numbers guy.
Yeah.
I think these are the parts of the show that really get me, that really resonate with me, and yeah, I mean, just something as simple as how long are you gonna be able to pay him? She not wanting to answer the question. That's some real ass shit. And then the simple question when she was like, "This is good, right?" He was like, "Yeah, this is good," but he's saying she was like, when she asked him a question and he was like, "You're asking the wrong question." And she was like, "What is the right question?" And it was like, "Why are you continuing to do this?" Again, something I can very much relate. Why do you continue to put yourself through the stress, of, once again, how we open up Groundhog Day. Every day you're waking up doing the same thing over and over again. What is the driver behind that? What is your purpose? Because if you don't have a purpose, and tying in what what they said to Carmen too, is like tying in Carmen earlier is like, and if you don't have the love for it, then what is the thing behind it? Because you don't have to do this thing. You can go do something else. And, for her, the answer for her is just looking up at the board. It's just all the people. And kind of what Mike's saying is the family. They're the driving force behind why they're doing this and the passion and the love that they have behind it. But man, when you go, I was like, God damn, that's a real ass question. When you hear that, you process it, because you do. When you're going on a journey like this, running a business, the shit is fucking hard. It's hard as fucking hell. And, it's like the fucking stock market, bro. There are ups, there are downs, and everything, bro. So you have to really have a reason why you're doing it. And, it's just like, what was that, Paid in Full? Will the game still love me, man? Like that
Still
whole
gonna love
thing,
me, man?
Yeah, you think about that, it's just like, yeah, man, all of that shit. So that shit was fucking dope.
I totally agree with y'all's sentiment on this. It was a really good conversation, and I like that he's having it with her. He's the numbers guy. She's supposed to be the logical person. Like, she ain't the chef. She's not somebody. She's invested because she helped build it with them, but she's also not in the kitchen. She's supposed to be more of a business person. And I like that he asked her.
That's a good point.
Why
I didn't think
would you
about it.
do
Yeah,
this?
yeah,
You're
yeah.
a business person. Why would you do this?
Yeah.
I really like that conversation.
That didn't hit me until you just said that. Yep.
Damn.
Right, Mike.
Hey, sometimes it just takes, certain things.
All right, the next episode is entitled Tornado, which was the dish.
This is not.
Wait, is that the only thing that happened on that episode?
Yeah, what else you got?
Like
You
wholesome,
got anything else?
I'm sure other stuff happened, but that's the
The
main.
last two episodes is where the majority of the rest of the stuff happened. That's when you get the big news.
All right.
Unless you had something else. Did you forget?
I can't remember. I thought there was more stuff.
What I will
It's-
say, because we didn't really talk, because you didn't really introduce that Will Portner came on. I think they played my boy Marcus, bro.
What you mean?
'Cause he was about to get fired. He couldn't do any of that shit with the desserts and shit. And he was like, "I need more firepower." Why he need help?
What are you talking about?
Well, they roles just reversed. Because when he learned from dude.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
why the black man need help on the show, bro?
Why the black man ended up being the best chef there? Nah, you read into that one.
Yeah.
Nah, he didn't need the help. He needed more equipment. He needed
Tina
like
couldn't do her
assistance.
job right, Rod.
She could do her job.
Black and brown, bro.
See, nah,
Nah,
I'm not gonna do that.
Marcus
Because the white man was ruining it for everybody, yelling and hollering and shit.
Marcus needed that to keep up. Like,
Yes.
to keep up to the stand. Like, he's good, but
He's slow.
That's okay to be slow. He's still good.
That's fine. But he
They
just
didn't
needed.
need slow. Every single count.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. He couldn't keep up with the pacing. His ideas and everything else was good. He just needed help.
They actually, to the contrary, Ken, they propped up all the black people here.
They really
Yeah.
did. They
They did.
really
yeah,
did.
yeah. Actually,
Marcus,
All the black people
Sydney?
saved the restaurant.
the beef guy, y'all talked about him.
Him.
Yeah, him.
Nah, that whole scene we didn't go too deep on. We don't have to, but that whole scene with what's Will Poulter's character's name?
Luca.
Luca. The whole scene with Luca and Tina, that was the scene of this episode where I was like, that got me. Like, I knew what they were doing. The second he told the other girl to go have her fire up the pasta,
it was the way
I
he looked.
knew that's what they were doing.
Yeah, the way he looked. Yeah.
Man.
He's a real good actor too. He
is.
Oh hell yeah.
It's so subtle that how good he is here because he don't really have a lot of screen time. But even if you go back to Copenhagen with him and Marcus and how he was teaching
Yeah.
Marcus to do the several things, it was just so subtle. He looked like he did this in real
For
life.
real.
He looked like a
Yes.
for real deal
Nah,
chef.
for real.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Nah,
Very
he's dope,
interesting.
man.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to call back to that because that shit was really fucking good. And when she finally got it, the look on her face was just like, man, this shit is so good, man.
Did y'all? I haven't brought this dude up. The wine sommelier or whatever. Did y'all like that?
That's another one that was struggling in this episode.
He was done that. You the one. He might be right on that one.
But he
you right.
eventually got it too, though.
Yeah.
finally
He
got
was
it at the
good. He
end.
got it.
Yeah.
He just needed someone to just explain it.
Exactly.
To him. So I liked it, but I didn't really care.
Yeah, that was too like they just needed something for him to do.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Like, bro,
But
he
it was
just needed
important
something
though.
to do. It was,
yeah,
but
it
it
was
just was
important.
like
Especially in a fine dining restaurant, you got to know that shit.
facts. That's true.
You got to know that.
Yeah, because I didn't know that shit about looking through the wine or whatever.
Yeah, you got to know that shit.
All right, episode 9. Carmi drops the photo book off at Donna's, spends time with her.
Man,
She doesn't realize who her son is. Like she admits to him, I didn't pay attention to you guys. I didn't know how great you were. She talks about how she's been sober for over a year and wants to be a part of his life. He makes a roasted chicken for her that he learned to make at the French Laundry. Ibrahim agrees to a partnership with Albert and franchising the beef window. Albert meets Computer, who agrees that franchising after he's doing the numbers in his head is a good idea. He tries to tell the uncle about it, and uncle does not want
get the
to
fuck
hear
in the
that
car.
he does not want to hear that.
Right.
What did you guys? Well, it makes sense too because some information that we got from the mom Donna is that he was downsized, like he
To help them stay afloat.
stay afloat. So he was losing money already, and it was affecting his lifestyle at this point. I don't want to hear anything about a franchise. But let's go.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really good. What'd you think about that, Ken?
Well, it can save the business. And I
Yeah.
think that's where Computer, when he really processed, was like, oh shit, maybe we can franchise the Bear. and stay in business.
Franchise the beef.
Yeah, the beef was gonna pay for the bear
Okay. Yeah.
because it's a lot less operating costs. You do it faster. Yep.
Only a limited
It made
window.
sense.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah, it
sense.
made plenty of sense.
So we didn't get an answer to that, but I'm sure we will. So I thought that was dope. Again, I like those conversations. There's certain things you could just pick up, from just hearing that guy kind of talk. I thought it was really, really dope. So yeah, that was good. It was something else you said about this episode.
Donna was essentially saying that how she never noticed Carm. She really didn't understand
So-
his talents.
Yeah. So first of all, Donna and Carm, incredible. Like out of all the scenes of monologues and the sort of emotional scenes,
This was the one that
bro, this one was really good, and it's not from. I mean, first of all, Jamie Lee Curtis, like you already know what she gonna do. Like she ain't just show up just to get a check.
Right.
Like, she came to work, but it was Carm, bro, not saying shit and the fucking quivering, the shaking, and the water in the eyes. I was like, oh my god, like this shit is fucking amazing.
Masterclass.
Man, bro, it was freaking amazing. But the thing that I took away the most from this, well, it was not the thing. It was a question I asked myself, and it kind of relates to Carm, and really kind of threw me off with this decision. But it was like, can a chef just not cook? Because when he got up, he was like, I'm gonna make you lunch. And I was just like, man, can he just not do the thing that he does all the time? Can
Just throw some shit together, but
Can
he
you
gotta
just
make it.
turn
like-
it fucking off? And we didn't get the answer right then, but we got the answer later. Because I told my wife, I was like, damn, he can't. Like, he just can't not cook. And he made her a whole dish, even though he made it every day.
I think that was. Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're about to say the same thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we're about to say the same thing. I'm sorry.
I think that was him just kind of realizing that he loves the art, but he doesn't really love the job. Like, I think he loves to cook, and that's the one thing that he can give anybody that he cares about. I thought him making his mom a meal after that long, super heavy talk was just perfect. And he just some chicken. I don't know what the fuck he did. I mean,
Roast
Look good as fuck.
He
bro.
roasted
It
the
did
chicken.
kind of look good. I'm vegan, but I was like, man, I might take a bite of that motherfucker.
I like what he said about the salmonella too, because I always thought that too. It's like, man, that shit gonna get everywhere. Like you put that shit in the sink.
Right, versus just like he was like, why would you do that? It's like small stuff. That
But that's what
seems
you've always been
authentic,
told.
too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, my mom's husband is a chef, and they can't. Like his son is a chef, like they can't cut it off.
And I think
It's like that all
Kind of
the
like people
time.
that grill.
Well,
People gonna
yeah,
fucking-
but
yeah.
kind of, I looked at that moment as like a larger moment. It's like when you're in a thing, you got a passion for a thing, you can't turn that thing off. Nope.
Yeah.
It's just always on.
That's who he is.
They'll cook like eggs or something, and it'll be like, bro, it's just eggs. They do so much, and it's like that they
Yeah,
can't
and
cut it off.
I think that's really, really fucking dope. And even Sydney, when she did it, when she was like, I'm gonna make hamburger helper. Like when she said I'm hungry, I'm like, oh man, she's a cook. What the fuck she gonna cook? And she did hamburger helper, but she did something that's small. She can't turn it off. She was like, yeah, you put tomato paste to take the box out of it. Because for her, the experience of cooking for her was the fact that you haven't had hamburger helper before. You need to experience this. But I'm gonna do it in my way because I can't turn off the cooking. I thought that it was just an observation that I have, but I think it relates to everybody in that show. Is like they have this thing that they just can't turn off because they're just so invested and connected to it. Like it's just what they do. So I'm appreciate you giving me that insight.
Yes, they are like that all the time. Like it never stops.
Are we going to talk about the shit that Jamie Lee Curtis actually said though?
Yes.
I didn't know if you're moving on to the
go
next
ahead.
scene.
No. I just wanted to interject that before I forgot.
Bruh. When she was like, I brought y'all chaos, and that's the reason y'all are like this, and I'm so fucking sorry. And when you're seeing Carm realizing that he's just like his mother, and his mother fucked his life up for years, and then he realizes he's doing it to his other family. That whole monologue with Jamie Lee Curtis, she deserves some kind of award. I think she deserves an award, and so does Sydney.
Yeah.
Because both of them delivered these incredible monologues. But that whole scene was just fucking amazing.
It was.
Amazing. And then again, there's improvising. She's like, I don't even think I read the whole thing, but then I put on the back, I love you, I love you, I love you a whole bunch of times, and this and that and this and that. That whole scene, I was just sitting here like, oh my God, this is crazy.
You know
This
what?
is crazy.
You know what I thought about Spike, Rod, and Mike is that what if he never heard that from her?
I'm sure he hadn't.
But think about this. What if he would have ended up reading it on the paper that she wrote?
Oh,
And didn't hear the words. It probably meant so much to him.
Yes.
Because even when he walked, he didn't even want to stay there. Remember,
Yeah.
Richie. Richie ran interference at the wedding. And the thing I was saying to my mom, was not my mom, but my wife, was just like, I can't imagine
Avoiding my mom.
not having a relationship with your mom.
yeah, at all. At all.
It's just, and I know I know it's out there and it happens a lot. It's just, I've never been in that world.
No, me either.
And it's just like, I just don't know how you get to that point, but it made sense. The chaos, and that's the only way he knows how to live.
And her saying like, I'm sorry that I did this, but my heart was broken and I didn't know what to do. It's like, man, God.
You're right. I never thought about that too. Like you said, imagine if he had just read that, because she asked him, "Can I read this to you?" And he was hesitant as hell. He was like, "All right," but then
Because
he
probably
read
thought it
it.
was gonna be some bullshit.
And he tried to stop her
He
too a
read
couple
it. And
times.
literally, it changed his life, because I'm sure didn't he make the call after that?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that literally changed his life. And I think one of the themes throughout this, as we get to the close, one of the themes throughout this season was Carm didn't know who he was outside of the kitchen.
Right.
He has no idea
Right.
what life is like, not trying to be a Michelin star,
Yep.
top echelon prodigy chef. He didn't know anything about that.
Yep.
And Claire helped him realize it. His mom helped him realize it. Like these conversations that he's having, like, damn, these things never registered to me, because all I ever thought about was cooking. It's so good.
And this is
That cooking to find his identity. Go ahead, Rod.
I'll say that. And this is also the start to this feeling like a season finale to me.
Series finale.
Yeah, series finale.
Series.
Still
That's what I
doesn't,
see.
man.
I know, but this
That's what I
made it
started
feel like
thinking.
it.
Yeah.
This made it feel like, wait a minute, are they closing this?
Yeah.
I was the same way.
Yeah, yeah.
After episode 9, I was like, wait, is this the last season
Right.
and I missed it? Mm-hmm. And then especially going into the next, anything else about that episode?
No, that's the main part.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, like you said, in every episode is so much to unpack because it's other stuff that we didn't touch on, but it's fine.
So
Well, if you think about it, you bring it up.
Yeah, it's fine.
This our
It's
last
fine.
thing we really
No,
talked about
it's
it.
fine.
I was just, so as this episode closes going into 10, because really 10 is only one thing to talk about.
Yep.
As far as it was really good, but from 9 going into 10, Carm makes the call. He has the updated partnership agreement done. He's leaving the restaurant ownership to Sid and Natalie. Episode 10's open up with Sid confronting Carm in the alley, and we stay there the whole episode, which I thought was brilliant. We stayed there the whole episode and
crazy.
have them two go back and
It
forth.
didn't even feel like that's where we were the whole time.
It didn't. It was in one scene the whole episode. I think it was like 38 minutes too. What'd you think about the scene, Rod? Or just how it began, like, because I know we're gonna talk through a lot of stuff in the scene.
Like I said, it started. I was very tempted to go see what this is season finale because it felt like that.
I thought this was over.
And I was like, I can't do it because then I'll get spoiled or whatever. So I didn't go look. And I meant to look afterwards, but I just didn't.
I
But
can't find a definitive answer that you're
Yeah.
looking for.
I think that's a part of their marketing, just not putting it out there.
They said the only thing they've said, real quick, sorry.
No, you
the only
good.
thing they've said so far is that there is not any kind of script written, and it hasn't officially been picked up for one more season. That's the only thing they're saying.
so the more we talked about it, the more and we sat here, I have a feeling they're probably gonna do a movie. They're probably gonna do a movie instead of doing another season to wrap it up. That would be my theory as to why they didn't say that this was a season finale. I could see them taking the movie route and just closing it that way. But especially like you could have the spinoff of the beef and all that. You could do all that type of stuff. But anyway, nah, man, another brilliant episode. Like just the beats that are taken, the pauses that are taken, again, it just seems like improv. It doesn't seem like they're actually
Like a playoff.
like they're almost like they're playing off of each other. It don't seem like and then we've seen it get to this point, right? And we want We don't want him to go. Like, we feel like Sydney. Like, yo, what are you talking about? That's the whole reason I'm here. I understand. I appreciate the gesture, but fuck, dude, I want you here with me. And you really feel that, man. Like, but you also feel like him. Like, man, I don't know who the fuck I am outside of being a cook, a chef. And so, like, yeah, man, it was like seriously powerful, and they did it again with the over talking. You can still hear what the other person is saying. They've mastered that shit. Well, they've coined that shit at this point. Anybody do that shit in a show?
They came from the bear.
It came from the bear. Like the fact that they're able to, because like it was points where like, oh no, let them talk, but not damn, wait, no, let her talk. Like it's just like over talking each other, but you still hear. Man, it's so fucking good, man. I'm just like. And I think we said this in another moment. It felt like, somebody said like, feel like you walking across the street and you just saw somebody arguing. I was sitting there fucking almost forgetting I'm watching the show.
Facts.
I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm not supposed to be hearing this.
Yes.
Like that's like, how do you do that? Like, man, this shit was so fucking good, man. This shit was so fucking good, and then you bring in Richie. Oh my god. And his whole shit,
even how they called Richie up to the conversation.
Yes,
it was so good. Mike, what you think?
Same. This shit was incredible, and I think that's what made me kind of mad that it might be the end of the show. But like Sid, I understood exactly why she was mad. She was like, "We're in debt, and you're leaving? Are you serious?" And he's just like, "No, I'm gonna get us out of debt first." She's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? This is bullshit." And then when she's like, "You're my partner. I need you here."
My God. Yeah,
and then he's just like, "I can't because I feel like I am the one that's fucking the restaurant up." So their conversation was enough. Then when Richie comes out, the fact that he was gonna beat his ass. That's Italian white people. They do that shit in real life. God. That's what they do.
Real?
That shit felt so real. Fucking in you.
White folks do that shit. They put their fucking head. You saw Daryl do it on Walking Dead. Do you remember when the black dude was trying to get liquor and he almost got them killed and they were on the roof and Daryl went up there and he put his fucking. That's what white people do. Right before they beat your ass, they put their fucking head on your forehead because they want you to swing.
Yeah.
It is. So that whole scene was incredible. And then Carm, not for once, not getting defensive. Instead, he's grabbing his head and he's like, "Look, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
Oh, yeah, that would embrace.
I'm sorry, yes.
Oh my God, when somebody's about to beat your ass?
Yes, because he's like, "I deserve this ass, but look, I want to talk."
Oh my God.
And then the final closing with, are we doing the whole thing? Or we
might as well, yeah.
The final part with Sugar coming out. And when they tell her, like, yeah, Carm's leaving, they expect her to bug out, and instead she just hugs him because earlier in the season she told him, she's like, "I understand if you don't love this no more."
Yep.
And I'm sorry that you, because I know how much you do love it.
I knew where you were. Like they had no idea.
They had no idea where you were.
In a different space with you. I knew exactly where your mental was and how you handled this. I agree with everything that you two said.
All the different dynamics were crazy.
Like him even revealing to Richie that I went to the funeral, and that's what like sends him over. Not only are you quitting, I expect this out of you. That's the type of dude I've like perceived you as, even though I like you my little cousin. But now you playing with my emotion and saying, "Oh, I went to the funeral, by the way." You telling me this now.
Like, right. Why did you say that? Why did you say that?
I love his the reaction. Like, why the fuck would you say that to me right now? Like, we ain't even talking about that. And you think that's going to get you off the hook? No, that's going to get your ass kicked.
Right.
Didn't them resent each other?
Yeah, because Richie was like, "Do you realize how hard this was for me?"
Yeah.
Richie could have used him. Yeah. They both lost a family member.
Yeah.
That killed themselves.
And when he said, like Carm said, I was selfish. I didn't realize you lost somebody too.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good.
Even though, meanwhile, he was always jealous of the relationship that Richie had with his own brother.
Yep. And he was jealous of him going on and being a chef. Man,
I bought your cookbook and read it,
bro. Yeah, like, man,
come on. That was so good,
man. This whole episode, come on. If this show does not win so many awards, it makes
it's winning awards. Like, yeah, but But yeah,
And I thought to you, Ken, from Sid and Carmen's perspective too, I felt both sides of that as well.
Yes.
Like it
Sid too.
wasn't an argument where you're like, oh no, Sid's right or no, Carmen's right. Like both of them were making very
Yes.
valid points in just the characters that we've grown
Right.
with. And it's like, no, you led me to this place and now you're just telling me to go off. And then he's like, well, I mean, this is as far as I really can take you.
Yeah.
Like I got both of those.
Yeah, because he said to her, he said, "You're the chef that I can never be."
Yep. God, so good.
And,
like you're caring, you're thoughtful.
yes,
Like, man.
everyone loves you.
You are the bear.
You are the bear.
Oh, that felt like a fucking finale.
That's why I thought
Ooh,
Sid-
she's a black bear.
I thought that too. Though. I was like, fuck.
That's what I was in fear getting close to the end of it. Like you said, I was like, oh, they ending this. Like this is over. That's what I thought. Like getting close, like 10 minutes, 9 minutes. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like no
I didn't
more
feel
there.
that.
I felt
I didn't either.
I didn't feel
I
that until
felt
it
this was
ended. I was like,
over.
whoa, wait.
whoa, wait.
where you
this
taking
show
me?
over?
Where you taking me? I felt like this was it. Like this was the finale of the
can't
series.
be.
That's not it.
Because we have to see Carm
Yes.
saying goodbye to everybody.
We can't. This ain't.
Can't have a bear without Carm. I don't
I mean,
care
I
what
think
That was
You
gonna
can.
be one of my questions to close with.
I don't know.
Can you do this show without Carm?
That's not what's gonna happen.
No,
Yeah.
you can't do the show necessarily without Carm. You can do the restaurant without Carm.
So he would still be in the show. Like if
Absolutely. I
they
think-
brought this back and they said that dude wasn't in the series, y'all would be disappointed.
yes.
Yeah.
If they brought it back and the entire season was him transitioning away from the bear, then I think that would be perfect.
I would be cool with that because when I was watching this, I was like, bro, you can't leave. I was hitting him. Yeah. I was like,
You're my partner,
What the fuck
Carm.
you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Man, it's so much.
I
Go
even
ahead.
like that part too when she was just when he convicted her for about the he's like what do you, I mean I've been knowing him since I've been
Right, and he said I liked how he still was getting his shots in there
yeah
too.
you still get his
Like,
shots but he said but look I
can't
get it
fuck
I understand you know what I'm saying it makes sense you should or whatever but look like he was just like basically like don't make it seem like I'm the only one
Yeah, like,
here
I
that's
didn't know about this.
yeah so I thought that was dope
It's yeah, this was a lot when I was like, oh my God, this whole episode is incredible. I think I echo a lot of things that you said. What I would add is that when Sugar hugged Sugar,
If she was black, it'd be sugar.
okay. When she hugged Carm, I said out loud, somebody finally hugged that man.
oh shit
Think about it. He got yelled at and damn near in a fight. And was a lot of aggression from a decision he made, the chaos, right?
which he thought she would be happy about
And come in and he gave him probably the one thing he needed was a hug, compassion. I was like, finally, because they weren't listening to each other.
that's a
really.
good point
And it was so frustrating watching this because I'm like, will y'all just sit down and really stop yelling and just talk
Yep.
and really just hear what each other are saying? Sydney just made this really important decision to go with you, and now you come and say you're leaving, and you already knew, and you probably made the decision because you probably thought I was going to go with Shapiro. On top of that, there's that part of it. And I think the one thing I said after I was really just sitting and thinking about it is like, man, these 4 seasons of The Bear, I feel like it's all really about unresolved grief. And how do you deal with it? Because all of them are struggling to process what happened to Mike. And they haven't, like, there's acceptance, but it's always lingering because grief comes and goes. You have good days, you have bad days, but nobody's ever really talked, at least definitely Richie and Carm, they haven't really sat and talked about it. They're trying to move forward and continue this legacy because of him. And, you know, and is that really why Carmen is still around? Because of that. And he doesn't really know who the fuck he is. Everything that he said in it. And I'm like, starting with episode 1 all the way until now, even even Donna and how she took out, you know, everything that happened with Mikey on everybody. Like, I was like, man, and it's just really like, this is the results sometimes of what happens with that. Like you just live in this world that's chaotic and depressive and nothing's resolved. And and it's again, going back to the opening Groundhog Day, like all of that just is like something that you just kind of have to sit and just think about because people don't know how to deal with it. And there's no real way to deal with it, right? But for me, man, the best part for me was when Richie told Sydney, "What are you doing? You don't smoke." And we said,
"Nigga, I'm trying," or something. What did she say?
She said, "Nigga, who the fuck cares?" Something like that.
Oh, that was so funny.
I swear that has to be that. I think she improvised that.
Had to be.
I don't think she did, only because I think that they were going back on that code switching thing. I think this is them being like
Just dropping
Sydney
all the-
saying fuck it. Now I'm just Sydney.
But bro, I fucking loved it.
It was so real.
because
It was great.
Whether it was written in or improvised, I loved it because it's just everything that you said. But I was like, yo, I think that's the first time she ever said it. around us.
Yes.
That's the first time she's like, bro, like
It didn't even sound natural, really. It almost sounded weird.
I
with her
rewilded
saying
it so many times. I'm like, yo, did she just really say that?
Yes, she did.
Like it really just
I saw the
caption,
caption.
bro.
Me too. Nigga, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, I did too, but I was like, oh my God, like something so small and so simple really just sealed the deal for me with this whole season. Because I can't even recall when they were having a conversation, when she went to her cousin's house in episode 4, were they using it then?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
So that's what Mike was just saying, that they set
Oh
it up.
yeah, because
They
when she
set
was
it
talking
up.
about, damn, you're right, that was a setup. Because you were talking about their friend Mary and then they did the girl thing, and not to go back to Harper and all that, but
You trying to have a night? I'm trying to have a night.
yeah, like, bro, I was like, all right,
And
Boom.
it was so good too because she coughed right after, and then he said, "See,
Yeah.
it just
It's
paid
so
off.
good.
It paid off immediately."
Yep.
And like to your point about her saying "nigga" right there, it's like I think most black people can understand that. Like when you're so emotional, and you usually don't even you're not using you in a setting where I would never say this,
Right.
But now this is like I'm dealing with this emotion of you leaving, like you just can't keep the walls up anymore. That was so good. That was a good catch,
really
kid.
was.
yeah, man, it just stood out to me, and yeah, I think Mike and Ryan and on like you nailed it. Like it's like fuck the code switching. Like this is a raw moment right now, and I'm just in it. Fuck all this other shit.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think about adding Richie onto the deal?
I thought it was beautiful.
Thought, yeah,
was
it was
great.
great.
I was actually surprised that Carm didn't do that to begin with. I thought it was weird that one side went to Jimmy and the other side went to only Nat and Sid. If I was Richie, I'd be like, well, fuck you. What the fuck?
But he owns the beef, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think he owns anything. I don't think, unless I missed something.
Yeah, but that was cool.
It was really good.
I just wish that for some reason, I wish that was Carm's decision and not Sydney saying, well, this is the only way I'll do it is if you add your fucking cousin that you've known all your life.
I'm glad he didn't fight him on it. I agree with you, but
Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't like push back.
No,
any.
me too.
Like it was immediate. Like, oh yeah, you're right, of course.
Because I mean, the second she said, I need something, he said anything. Anything. But yeah, I mean, we didn't even touch on Marcus's dad and that whole thing, but it was like everything here was just about like that whole every second counts and the whole reliance on family and what family actually means. I just think this whole season just wrapped everything up so perfectly. But like the whole time and family, Sid not making time for her father, and then he has a heart attack. Then, you got Marcus who's like, I don't feel like I want to waste time on this guy, so I'm not gonna fucking do it. And then Carm realizing how much time he's wasted and how much stress he's put on his whole family. It was just like, if this is the end, I'll be okay with it. But I really wish they gave us just one more episode. That's all we need. I really feel like I need to see everybody else's reaction to him leaving. Because I can't, after Marcus won, I'm the hottest new chef, and then sending that to his father. I feel like I need to see Marcus. I need to see Tina, because she's gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I need to see fact. I need to see all these people's reaction. If the show does not give us that,
And Claire.
Yeah.
I want to
think
see
they're
how
gonna
Claire
do a
reacts.
movie.
I think Claire is going to be the only
gonna
one
love
that
it.
would be like, this is probably the best thing you could have ever done.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are going to be devastated.
Oh yeah, and he found that green shirt that she.
Oh,
the
yeah, that was
sweater.
good.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good. 'Cause I knew that was going to happen too. Because she brought this shit up. I'm like, he's going to find the sweater.
Yeah, and the constant
I think his little
reminder.
perky ass was hiding it.
Yeah, I think he went upstairs to look at his room or something like that.
Yeah, why was it folded up in the room like that? You little weirdo.
But
It was in the closet. Or
yeah,
something like that.
but yeah, I think Mike. Like the constant reminder of that clock, and then that motherfucker just hit zero. Like the anxiety of that, and just potentially not even seeing them win it or get it. Like I think going back to the fake snow scene, which was fucking incredible.
So that was one of the things that I.
Oh
wanted to
my
bring up
god,
earlier.
Mike!
Yeah.
Mike brought it up. I definitely want to go back to it because that was an amazing scene. I actually did love that as well. I thought that was dope. Just seeing they're all out there smiling. How often do we see them smile together?
That's fact.
And they're all out there just
Never.
smiling, looking at this. And then the
Never.
guy walking back. That may be the Michelin thing. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
But I'm glad we didn't get a definitive answer on that, and
Yep.
they didn't get saved at the end of the day.
Yep.
Oh, I thought that was the dude that called about Marcus Chef thing.
Was it?
that's probably
That's
him.
what I thought.
I don't know, actually. Yeah,
I thought
could
it was
be.
the dude that was there for Marcus and gave
No,
him the
because
Chef Award.
well, maybe it was because remember when he was talking to that guy, he had just served them the beef sandwich. He didn't
Yeah,
even
so
serve them
that
a
doesn't
dessert.
have anything to do with Marcus. So you could be right. That could be the
No, he
person.
asked him, did he want a beef
Yeah,
sandwich?
he did. So he must have
He already ate.
got food.
Yeah, he had already ate
Yep.
and had dessert. He said, "Do you want a beef?"
because he
sandwich as
watched
well?"
what he did for the
Yeah.
cancer person, and then he was like saying how that was great, and he said, "Well, I can get you one if you want one."
He like fire
Yep.
another one.
So yeah, I took it that he had
He
already
already-
eaten. And restaurants like that, the portions are this big. So that motherfucker was still hungry.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. Well, we don't know. I think
don't know.
I just thought, but in typical how series go, like, oh, this guy just happened to be there, and he's going to write the review, and then they accomplish their goal. I thought they were going to do that sort of thing happening, but nah, we don't know.
Well, either way,
Jalen suggested, he was like, "So this is a high. Why not just go out on top versus risking another season and not being good?"
because I don't think it'll be a. Well, yeah, I mean that's fair.
But we have series and shows.
Does everybody feel like this is a high though?
Yeah,
I think
Yeah, but-
some people might be a little bit. I haven't
because
looked
it's a bit of a
online.
cliffhanger.
You
It's
need
a big
answers.
cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I think they got to.
Do you though?
We need closure.
Like Carm is leaving. That's all you need. Like,
we don't know
really,
Carm is
People want
we
closure,
selfishly
bro.
just want the reactions as fans because we want to see how those people react. But the story is complete.
Is it?
The rest-
I
yeah,
don't
it
know if he's
is.
really going to.
I don't think it's complete. Like
think
you
it
guys
is.
thinking this was a finale, I didn't get that feeling at all.
I got a finale because eventually I feel like the reason I say the story is complete because we know how they get out of the situation. That's with the beef.
We don't know
With
for
the death.
certain though.
Yes,
They still
Well,
have a Michelin
they
star.
they
There's too much shit
presented
up in the
that
air.
like if again I
No. Computer presented that to Jimmy, but we never heard that. I don't know what Carm is talking about in terms of debt.
right,
He never said it.
right.
She never even asked. That's why I was so frustrated by them yelling at each other.
And Carm, I don't even know if Carm is fully clued in on what's going on with the beef and
He don't
Ibrahim.
know.
So yeah, so what is all this stuff about? I'm gonna get us out of debt. Don't worry. And a few episodes prior, he was still bringing up the Michelin star. I'm gonna get the Michelin star. So it's like, I agree, it's a high, but I feel like there's still a few too many doors that are still open. Again, if they close it and this is it,
This ain't it. Yo.
I'm not gonna be like, yo, that's whack. This shit sucks. I'm pissed. I'm just gonna be like, damn, I really kind of wish we had one more season.
I wouldn't feel fulfilled. I'm
Really?
like when
Yeah.
when Mike was talking about we need to see the reactions. That's how I felt when it was over. It was like, and then I'm going back to what I said. Like, bro, all you know how to do is cook. You want the star. Like, I don't even know if Carmen really is really where he's at.
Right. He might just need therapy. And they might just be like, yo, you have to calm down and accept failure. And then he might be able to come back to the restaurant and everything's fine. Because, I mean, if cooking is all he knows, what is he going to go do?
Yeah. He went through a lot this
It ain't like he
episode,
rich.
bro.
Yeah.
A lot of shit got thrown at him, and this is probably how he's probably going to go away and just deal with whatever issues he has. He had that whole thing that happened with Donna. That's probably a lot.
That's a lot.
I agree, but I do think that the ambiguity of it, like we a lot of shows like Game of Thrones and shit, we say shit, they took it too far. They tried to answer everything and then it just didn't get good. It wasn't good at the end.
Because they were shitty writers, though.
True.
This
I
show
agree
isn't
with you.
shitty writers.
Shitty writers.
I wouldn't be like 100% upset if this was it.
I wouldn't
if they
either.
just walked off.
I
and was
wouldn't
like,
either.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's because I wouldn't have thought that it would end this way. I would think that they would do the cliche thing and try to answer all the questions and do these things. But like Jalen said it well in the text, he's like, I think it's perfect. It leaves us with the reality of failure, success of restaurant business, and Carm gets closure.
Carm doesn't have closure.
Carm, from the beginning, Carm wanted to turn this restaurant into what he turned it into. He got that happened.
No, it didn't.
No, it hasn't.
It has happened.
No, it
The
hasn't.
has
restaurant-
not happened.
No, the restaurant is a functioning. Well, you talking about the
It's
star.
not.
You talking about the star.
No, I'm not
They're-
talking about the star. I'm talking about the restaurant is still
But that's what he
failing.
wanted the restaurant to be, though.
A failure?
It wasn't about no, I'm talking about it in its existence, the food that it provides, the place that it is, the family that's there. That has happened.
No, he wanted it to be a successful, functioning restaurant. It's not that because they're still in debt and they don't really know how they're going to get out of it. So Carmen has not gotten the restaurant there.
There in episode 2 or 3, I think it was 2. There was a line. It was one word that Carmen said that I like when he said that shit. I was like, bro. When I talk about relating to,
He said, "Chef."
he said mistakes. Remember when he was sitting there alone? They had the blue light and this whole thing was lit. And Richie was like, Levy was like, "Oh, you okay?" And then he sat down and was like, "Are you doing this thing to make me ask you what's wrong?" Blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
you just putting on this
And he-
smoke
yeah.
face.
And he said, "What are you sitting here thinking about?" And he said, "Mistakes." Bruh, when that shit hit me, I bring that up to say, not only did I was like, man, that's some real ass fucking shit. Cause you do just sit there and think about
Yes.
all the fucking mistakes that you've made
Yep.
that could have taken everything in another direction, right? That's why they're in this predicament, not getting the Michelin star. And that's not even, and shit, that's in the business and outside of the business. The mistakes with Claire. You know what I'm saying? And the mistakes of not telling his family that he went to the funeral, but it was too much for him to deal with, and he had to fucking leave. And Richie was saying, but that shit was a lot for me to deal with, but I was still there. Like all of those mistakes that he made, like, and maybe this season was him just kind of reconciling that to the point where I made a mistake in trying to do a different menu every day. So I'm gonna fix that by we're just gonna listen to Sydney. But I think that again, like it feels like he needs to go figure out who he is, and that's going to be this journey. That could be episode 5. But at the end of the day, season 5, but maybe him coming back to the fact that, bro, this is all I can do is fucking cook, and this is my passion. Maybe it is, Mike, like you said, just the art of it, and maybe he just designs the food for the restaurant.
Yes.
For everybody to cook.
I think that's because what Jalen just said, I think that's where I would have liked to see the season go or the show to go. Because if Carmen is realizing that he's fucking the restaurant up due to what his mother had told him, if his mother just stepped away, if she was like, "I'm bringing too much chaos in your life, I'm just going to step away and go," that wouldn't have brought him any kind of closure. That probably would have fucked him up worse.
Right.
But what she did do is she stepped away for a minute, got better, got sober, came back and said, "I want to be a part of your life." So if Carmen follows that pattern, if he steps away for a while until he fixes himself, he gets therapy, he does whatever he needs to do, and then he comes back to the restaurant later and says, "All right, I've fixed myself. I'm okay with things not being chaotic. I need to be a part of this. Will y'all accept me back?" And they say, "Of course, Carmen. Yes, Jeff."
Roll
and
credits.
then the shit ends.
Roll
I
credits.
feel like that would be more fulfilling. Like you said, I'm not going to be upset with this ending because the show is amazing. It's been amazing. This would be a little bit of an unfulfilling ending, but fine. But I feel like it
There's
wouldn't
more.
be much of a risk to
more
give us
meat on the
one
bone.
more season and let the entire story of Carm end.
Yeah, and I think to your point of what you said that Jalen said is that even in season 5 doesn't have to be a Cinderella story.
It doesn't.
You
It
know,
doesn't.
The thing about this show is that it's relatable and it's so fucking real, and just keep it real at the end of that one. It's like
Yeah.
all these things are worked out. This Mikey's death has did a number on all these motherfuckers, bro, and got to fix that somehow, some way as best he can. And maybe that is just constantly going to therapy over and over again. But I don't know. I don't know. It didn't feel right for me.
Yeah, it is titled Goodbye.
Yeah.
It is.
But nah, yeah, I think they got a little bit more.
So you think of movies next?
Possibly, but I mean, yeah, possibly. It's kind of weird that they haven't said anything about a renewal, but that happens with shows too. The renewal will come later.
I think a movie would be weird because
Probably.
typically with movies, like when you have something like those Sex and the City movies,
That's what I was thinking of.
I think those are harder to sell because you have to have a lot of previous knowledge to walk into the movie. I don't see how they can make a finale of The Bear movie without people having to go have seen the previous
whole
four
four
seasons. So they may as well just make it one more season. You can even make it 5 episodes, but just give us a little bit of closure with what's happening.
But I could see that forcing people to go watch the series.
I don't think they're gonna gamble with that.
If they got a movie coming out, like, oh damn, I got to go watch this series.
Why would the studio gamble with, like, I'm going to make a movie and hope people know there's a movie coming out and say, I'm going to go watch 4 seasons of a show?
I don't know. It's just an eye.
No, I know. I mean, I just don't.
I mean, they tried to do that with Walking Dead, but they never
And
did.
they
And they changed their
Yeah,
mind.
yeah,
right.
They kept it as shows.
Yeah. So I don't know. I do think one more season is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not mad at this being a finale,
Right.
but with a show this good, I feel like there's a better way you can bring it home.
I would be. I wouldn't be
feel
happy
like-
with this as a finale. Serious
I
finale.
Wouldn't or would?
I'm
Would
50
not.
50.
No.
I'm 50-50. It could end this way, and I could later on think, man, that was brilliant. Just to leave it there. Like,
Yeah.
we tapped into that world for a moment. There are like his life. It kept going. You just assume what you assume happened to him. But I'm also like y'all. I would like more context too. But I don't think I'd be mad either way.
Yeah, because we got super invested. Just imagine how invested we are in these
Yeah.
characters at this
But
point.
wouldn't it be brilliant in them as creators to be like, that's it? I don't have any more to tell you. Like that's the show.
I would be like, you're a liar.
Right.
you may
do.
want to know more, but I just don't have
Right.
any more to tell
You're
you.
a liar. You do
Right.
have more to tell
I'm
me.
going
You
to
need
Chicago right now to go to the
Right,
restaurant.
pull up on-
Where is the bear?
Right.
Where is the restaurant?
Right.
I need to know what's
I'm
happening.
fucking somebody up. Is this shit still in,
Bro,
in action? Where is Tina?
If they really smart, they would have launched a pop-up restaurant or something.
They have.
Oh, they
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, they do it. Yep.
Okay.
They do pop-ups. All right. Any other thoughts?
I gotta get up out of here,
All right. This has been The Bear. We appreciate you guys joining us. It's the Frame Per Second podcast. We out. Peace.